You got it. You guys know what's going on. All right, hello everyone. My name is Speedy. Welcome to NotSoSpeedRuns. We're here with 6 and 20 Metropolis, back with our campaign in City of Mist. Good to see all you people in here. Thank you, both Meta and McLoken, for coming in with those raids from that Partnerversary stream. Happy Partnerversary. It is good to be back. I'm happy to be here and see where things go after leaving on that cliffhanger last time. Let's unveil some mysteries. But first, let's go around to our wonderful cast and figure out, who they are and who they're playing tonight. Let's go ahead and start with the Partnerversaire herself. That's the word for that.
That's the word for the day, guys. Partnerversaire. Mark it down. Today.
Meta.
Hi, guys. I'm Metamancer. I am a GM and a digital artist and developer, and pretty much I wear lots of different hats as my role throughout Twitch/streaming community. And I play Morrigan on this show, and she is a very intelligent and interesting individual who has a tendency to focus on making things go her way. So we'll see how that works out for the rest of the group. But I'm excited to be here. So, yay!
Awesome. Yeah. I loved meeting your character last time. It was great.
There are some dark things about her.
She's so dark.
She is.
Yeah.
Just wait. Just wait.
Oh, God. All right.
Your character's dark, too.
Mine is mostly just sad.
Yeah.
All right. Cal, or Trendane, whoever wants to talk about themselves.
Sorry, I'm completely distracted by this freaking Dogecoin thing with no block source available. Fucking fix it! Just...
What?
I've never seen anyone that mad over a form of currency based on a meme.
Just want it to work. Is that so much to ask? I'm 34 weeks behind. I'm like, add node. Here's the IP address. Add. It should fucking work, and it does. Never mind. Okay, I will deal with the Doge later on. Hello. What was your question? Right, who am I and what am I doing here? Kind of, sort of, was your question. Sort of. My name is Trent Sparks. I'm a professional voice actor who fucking hates it when shit doesn't work. And I'm playing a satyr named Calvin Gannicus, who is I'm willing to bet that his same method of saving the party from evisceration is not going to work twice in a row. But if it does,
Tomato cans beware.
No, not that one.
What was the other one? You know what? Let's not worry about it.
Yeah, I was going to say, you were there. You were sort of, never mind.
We'll figure it out. All right. You gonna drop the ball?
I don't have one. I have a one of those seed pods from a maple tree.
Oh.
I could drop that, but Johnny might eat it. He might think, "Ooh, maple," and
yeah, Canadian. Oh, hey there, buddy. I'll have some of your maple there. Okay.
No, that's okay. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself there, though?
Oh, my name's Johnny. Johnny is nothing like that.
No, he's not.
Hi, I'm Johnny. That's the level Johnny will be hearing all throughout the night. So if you're gonna get annoyed by that voice, just mute it when you see me talking. So
okay, I'll do that right now.
You can't. You're not allowed.
How come Cal never responds to me?
You're underage.
My name's McLoken. I have a lovable Twitch channel you guys can find me on generally in the afternoons now. I do my own D&D campaigns, so on and so forth, and I'm excited to play the game today. It was a doozy.
See, now Johnny's vibrating again. Look what you've done.
God, that always happens, doesn't it?
Oh, it's just.
All right. And as for me, I'm Speedy. This is my channel. You can find me here. And today I'm playing as Geo, a mysterious bartender with a knack for being able to understand things more than most people should. And with that,
are you drinking an alcoholic drink?
This is a fancy mixed drink that I call water.
Oh.
And I'm drinking from Moscow Mule Cup.
Is it halfway through the episode? You're like, well, look at her. I had a lot of water today. I'm very hydrated.
Yeah.
Thought I felt a little tremor there, but maybe not.
But let's go ahead and get started. Actually, before we do that, a couple announcements. First, if you guys haven't already, you should retweet. Let your friends know that you're here. The link is in chat right now. You can go ahead and
retweet all the things.
Send it out to the
Retweet it.
multiverse. Retweet Metasweet too, and McLokins and everyone else who's done a tweet or whatever. Also, you guys can interact with the game. So by donating, you can help support the channel, and you can interact by giving us critical successes or failures with donations of $5. And you can also create NPCs for $10 and stuff like that. So if you're interested, it really does help support the channel. Subs get those benefits as well. Sub gives a crit to someone of your choice per month. And that is all for that kind of announcement. So with that, I will turn things over to our wonderful GM or MC.
Terminology matters, man.
That's why I corrected myself.
I've
You are
actually
the
never been
master of ceremonies.
I'm not a big fan of master of ceremonies or MC, but I think terminology matters, so we'll just roll with it, okay?
I'm sure it stands for maze controller, just like in Mazes and Monsters.
Oh, I'm going to jump off this pier now.
I totally forgot about that movie until you just said something. Thanks, friend. Thanks for derailing the game
What am I
tonight.
doing
Now I just want to
here?
talk about Mazes and Monsters and young Tom Hanks.
It is Tom Hanks' critical role. It's how he shot the fame, was with that movie.
And it's available on Netflix right
Johnny,
now.
what am I
Don't
doing
go
here?
watch it until we're done.
Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me, guys. I can't resist this. I must go and watch.
I just said don't go watch it until we're done. If I have to listen to Johnny's voice, you have to lead us in this game.
Well, so I'm just counting down the hours, actually, because in 2 hours and 45 minutes, I'm just going to go watch that. Anyways, are we ready? Can we get started? Are you guys sure?
I'm ready. I've been ready. It's been
I
you
was
who's
ready
been
since
delaying
last
things.
Friday. Come on, let's go.
Talk about terminology.
Terminology. Previously on 6 and 20 Metropolis, the fine characters sitting around this table all are invited to, for various reasons, or find themselves at the Walker Foundation gala being thrown by Whitney Knox in the palatial district of Olympus. Olympus being the sort of the rich district where there are wonderful mansions, lavish, expansive, estates. And they find themselves at this party for various reasons. Cal, invited because he is a food and drink connoisseur, a reviewer, and also a personal friend of Whitney Knox. Geo, working the bartender position behind the bar as a favor to a friend of his who could not make it. Johnny, another individual sort of working as a server to make some extra cash because he can't seem to sate his hunger. And Morrigan, a clinical therapist who specializes in very unusual cases, who has done work for the Walker Foundation. All of you found yourself there sort of just enjoying the party or doing what you were supposed to be doing there as a job when there was a little bit of a circumstance that began to arise. One Phoebe Dere, a socialite and CEO of Pandora's Delights, a food and beverage company local to the city, disappeared. she was up for the CEO, or sorry, the chairman position for the Walker Foundation after the death of Gerald Walker, who was previously responsible for sort of managing, and being the day-to-day operations of the foundation. Whitney Knox had thrown the gala specifically to generate some additional revenue for the organization and to serve sort of as a as a platform for him to campaign for his desire to be the chairman. However, Phoebe was the front runner in that particular case. Also at the party was Harold Bjorn, quite an unusual individual who, at one point, Johnny caught having an unusual exchange with Phoebe, but right before she disappeared. It is as the police, the local city police, arrive with Derek Roth, detective, an old friend of the Morgans. That we start to find ourselves in a situation where there seems to be a little bit of a conflict beginning to arise. Phoebe disappears at the same time as Derek Roth shows up with the cops, as the cops are bringing the news that that her sisters have also disappeared on this evening from 2 different locations in the city. Morrigan steps in, begins to investigate with Derek. Cal and Geo exchange pleasantries and begin to understand that they are attracted to very interesting situations and find themselves together whenever those interesting situations arise. And Johnny is just 17, trying to work a job and eat a Dagwood sandwich or 2 or 10.
17.
25. So all,
6 and 20.
Morrigan going outside and doing some special things that she is capable of. She decides to try to locate where Phoebe has disappeared to after Derek and the police officers are unable to find her. Thus discovering that her cell phone was left in a little sort of courtyard area in a high-level maze, hedge maze, and the investigation continues there. After more interesting clues were discovered, and that it appeared that she had been kidnapped by members of the Gang of Skulls, hailing out of the blue-collar neighborhood. The crew gets back together, the characters get back together and basically begin to operate as a crew as Johnny stops 3 individuals who are trying to escape as the party is beginning to be shut down and the investigation begins about the actual disappearance. After restraining them, Morrigan steps in and is able to have a very strong influence over one of them and learns that the Skulls were just being hired to take on, to take this job and to help along, and that their boss, Manny, had since left the scene with Phoebe as they left. Not really sure what the next step was. Morrigan gets a call from Phoebe's assistant, Mary. Thank you very much. To let everybody, or to let Phoebe know that she had a meeting at Xanadu. It's then that the 4 of you moved off to Xanadu, met Mr. Gallows, asked some questions, and then found yourself outside as you were investigating the disappearance of where Megan was last seen. A heavy presence, a heavy smell on the ground that only Cal was able to pick up. Something very animalistic, something very different. And as you all are just kind of assessing the situation and taking it in, there was a brick that fell down the alleyway, and you noticed a figure who saw you, realized that you saw them, and ran. And that's where we'll fade in back to that alley. 4 of you standing there, that figure just disappearing from the precipice of that roof.
Is that normal?
What the hell is normal?
That is an excellent question.
Maybe we should go and find out who that is.
Well, if it's who I'm worried that it is, we won't be able to catch her.
Wait, who is it?
Someone Gio and I ran into once before.
You think that was her? Didn't look like her.
No, but I mean, we're dealing with somebody who smells like a freaking animal. Last time that happened, fucking.
That made no sense, but okay. What? How? Can anyone get up there?
Yes.
Oh,
We should go up there.
Right. I will.
There is also a fire escape. There's a fire escape leading to the third floor.
Okay.
I go up the fire escape. Look, there's one right here.
All right. And then I go and pull it down. I run across the street and pull it down and start running up the fire escape.
Okay.
Okay. Does anybody else follow, or is it just Johnny doing this?
I'm going with him.
I will also run up the fire escape.
Same.
Okay, so as you get to the top, you see the individual jumping across the second roof to the third roof, some distance from you, probably a good 150 feet. But you do see them continuing to make their way across. They have an unusual gait to their run as they're moving. It's almost more like a hopping kind of a run. And when they jump from the second roof to the third roof, there is almost a prolonged sort of, like in distance. Like it seems like they're able to jump higher and farther than you would expect a normal person to.
Are you mocking this person?
No, it just reminds me of the Cadbury Bunny. That's all. And so he's going to start heading in that direction.
All right. I have a question. So
I have an answer. I don't know if it'll answer your question, but I have an answer.
with inhuman strength, can I jump super far? Or do I need that specific power?
I think Johnny could jump super far. But I'm curious, has Johnny ever done it before?
No. Johnny has never attempted this.
Okay. That is an excellent answer. And I can't wait to see what happens when you roll this.
All right. So I'm like, hold on. And you see him run to the edge of the opposite end of the roof and then starts running towards like dead sprint. And he's like, I think I can do it. And then you just see him and he jumps. And what do I have to roll?
I don't know. What do you think is gonna do this?
Impressive, inhuman strength, and invulnerability for the landing, because even if I fuck this up, I don't want to get hurt.
Okay, so all of those are great power tags. What do you think it's going to be in respect to a move? Is this taking a risk because it's the first time you're doing it? Is this changing the game?
I think it'd be taking a risk. Just for the simple fact that this is the first time he's doing it and he doesn't have fully control over it. So it might go fucking terrible. So
Sure.
Do I also have entourage from this as well?
You do have entourage because the point at which you're starting definitely is with Cal.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Real quick, I just have a question. This might not be relevant, but I was looking at the little sheets that you guys included in the Roll20 thing about there's something about stop holding back.
Stop holding back is another move.
So I was just looking.
Use your power in a new why don't you go ahead and let's talk about this. It says the description is when you use your powers in a new and never before seen way or scale, tell the MC what you hope to achieve. The MC will tell you the sacrifice it will take for you. Then roll your roll your 2d6 plus your logos. On a hit, you achieve exactly what you want to achieve and pay the price.
Oh, interesting.
So that is a really, 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 really interesting way to.
I mean, it seems very dramatic.
It does, but I'm going to ask then, what logos do we think that Johnny's is going to apply to Johnny's attempt here?
Oh, I don't know. I don't remember what your
Well, all the ones I mentioned are in the endurance. So
Right, and those are in.
Those are your
I mean, those are your mythos.
oh, what logos?
Yeah, so this actually applies to logos. Oh, yeah. So this applies to logos, and so there is a definite difference to what you're doing here. Or you can do the mythos again, and or you can do face danger with mythos and not worry about it at this point. But I think Meta's point about this being the perfect opportunity to do something that you're doing something new. You're sort of moving forward. You're moving mythos forward a little bit.
I would have to say if I were doing what's the name of the move again? Because I don't see it on my list. So
okay, it's the second. It's not a normal dice move, right?
Okay.
It's not one of the ones listed on the sheet as it is. It is called Stop Holding Back. And if you look at the handout, there are two handouts for player moves in Roll20. It's also in the book. Let me find the page for you in the book. It's in the appendix. It is. Come on, table of contents. It is on page 490, or sorry, 500.
But the handouts are in Roll20.
The handouts on Roll20, it's on page 2.
Stop holding back. When you use your power in a new, never before seen the way skill, tell them what you hope to achieve. The MC and the sacrifice will take from you. I don't understand what I'm sacrificing though.
I think it depends on the roll.
I think it's basically like burning a tag, but for your logos.
My interpretation, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that when you use this as a move, you're potentially bolstering your mythos by replacing it with your replacing your logos.
I don't think this is stop holding back. Just because I don't think this is something that's pushing him over his bounds, because he's always had this ability. He's just never done it before. Stop holding back makes it seem like, in my head, seems like something that is
Goku level version.
Yeah,
that's what I just thought of. I was like, if he's going full Goku.
Yeah, that's the way I kind of see it. Like he's going Kaioken times 20, and not just Kaioken. But yeah, I mean, does that make sense to anyone else?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about. But then I never watched that show.
It sort of does, but I mean, I'm looking at this, and the results are interesting, right? So you pick a level essentially to what you want to achieve: significant, no return, or ultimate. And for each of these, it's really interesting because you burn all the tags in one theme book. It's not just like you burn one tag in your theme book. You burn all the tags for your theme book for the session. Like it's you going all out with your logos and basically just burning that out of your system. And it's none of those things are available to you. So I agree with you that I think that the significance of this probably is more than his first attempt on this. But I think to Meta's point, this is a really excellent example of a potential case where I think stop holding back does apply. Right, and it would be on a matter of how much do you want to, how you choose the scale essentially, right? The significant, no return, or ultimate to really indicate that. But that almost feels like a sort of like a boss fight defining moment, right? And so I'm not sure. I think that's a great reason to bring it up, and I think that this is one of those significant events for Johnny as he's changing he's expanding his logos in a little bit. He's testing his limits. He's doing the whole Superman thing from Man of Steel. Never stop, trying, never stop testing your limits. Okay. But at the same time, I don't think it's boss level. So I think you can go either way, and I think it's up to you. Take a risk seems like the smarter approach to go here, but I think stop holding back is a great example.
I think take a risk is not hold back. I can see when that's going to be applicable for Johnny, but I don't think it's this moment.
Yep.
I think this is just like him just doing something that he's had.
Yeah.
So
I wasn't trying to force any you down that path. I just noticed it and I wanted to kind of
it's a good suggestion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a great suggestion, and I'm glad that you
I
brought
didn't
it up.
even know it existed until you brought it up. So,
Well, so the other thing about that is it's one of the ones that is not listed in the, if you look at the book and you look at the core moves and then you look at the cinematic moves, it's not listed in the core moves. It's an additional separate, essentially ultimate extreme, event that you would use as a move. So it's probably hasn't been on anybody's radar, but I think it's great, bringing it up because again, it would be an awesome opportunity if you chose to do it, but it's ultimately it could be that OP moment, but I don't think you need that OP moment right now.
No, I don't think it's that OP moment yet. I have an idea for when Johnny's OP moment will be, but I don't think this. I think this is just Johnny's normal ability. He's just doing them in a different way. So let me do this is +4 since I'm going to be using 3 of my tags. 9.
Hold on a second. I wanted to look at your weakness tags real quick.
Ravenous, weak when hungry, face a nemesis, or sorely underpaid and unpopular.
I don't think any of those apply. Yeah. Okay. So 9, right? So 9 with a face the danger. And hold on, let me jump back. Sorry. So 10 plus, you do it somehow. On 9, things get a little messy. The MC will offer you a hard bargain or an ugly choice. Okay, hard bargain or an ugly choice. Let me think about this for a second.
Ugly choice. Have you ever made out with a jackal before? Ooh.
I'm getting the feeling that the hard bargain is a lot like I remember reading a bit about it, and it reminded me of the Devil's Bargain in a lot of way from Blades in the Dark, except not as extreme. It was just one of those circumstances. I think what I would suggest is either Johnny will catch this thing. He will do that jump, right? That'll be very cinematic, and he'll do that jump, and he will close the distance and be able to catch up to it. But there will be something. Something will come into this, and I'll present it as that. I'll present it in the narrative that something will prevent you from ultimately grabbing onto this thing and kind of catching it. Or you can, but you're going to take damage. You're going to take a status of some kind.
Let's do prevent it from being caught.
Okay, so describe to the run and jump and the landing as you catch up, because this thing is 150 feet away across two roofs at this point. Yeah.
So he runs across the thing, and he as he jumps, he's like, ah! And you just see him fly through the air, and he's like, ah! And then you see him land on the building across, and just kind of fall face first and skid across, and then kind of push himself up, and he's like, ah! And he's still running after it.
So as you lump and you kind of land and you begin to slide, the thing kind of looks back at you, and as you get a look at its face a little bit, you can see that the nose and the mouth are sort of slightly protruding, and that there are patches of hair that look like fur inside of the mane of long hair that this person has, and it kind of looks back at you, and you can also see there's a little point to the ears, and you hear a growl as it just continues moving forward and continues to run.
Okay, I'm still. Am I still able to?
You're still pursuing it.
Okay, yeah, I'm still just chasing after it. And then I realize I don't know how to get a hold of anyone because no one has my phone number. So I'm just and I'm just keep running after him. And hopefully they know I'm just going that direction because they probably can hear my dumbass.
Yep.
So yeah, that's exactly what's going on.
Okay, so you get up, you were able to get yourself up, and you start running, and you're continuing to follow this thing, and so you're about 15 feet behind it, and just kind of staying on its heels. It's at that point that it looks back at you, growls again, leans forward, and begins to run on all fours. And we're going to cut back to the rest of the group.
Can we see that from here?
You can see that something has changed after Johnny has landed. Yes.
Well, I don't think I can jump that far.
I can try something. I mean, but Johnny can probably take care of himself, right?
What's he gonna do? Eat the guy?
So Morgan's literally just going to start running full speed out at the roof. And as she jumps, her entire body transforms into a crow.
Okay, that would be helpful.
That was not the response that I was expecting from Cal, but okay.
And now there is a crow flying in the air, and she's cutting across to close the distance between them and the where Johnny is.
Okay. And so you're able to kind of come up above them, and you're in position to basically keep an eye on them or move in, and you see that this thing is when it leaned down and started moving on all fours, its speed really began to increase, and Johnny is having to use everything that he's got right now to keep up with it. Okay, so the two of you are now sort of keeping pace with it, and Johnny, you've jumped another roof, and you're on the fourth roof, right? Kind of following this thing at this point. Gio, Cal, are you going to jump in and get involved in some way, or
are there like electric wires, phone cables around here?
There's power lines all over the city.
All right.
This is downtown, so
yeah. Gio sort of like jumps up onto like the back of like a whatever ledge this building has, close to a power line, and you see him, both hands outstretched. Watch this. And he just leaps up and grabs onto the top of the power line pole and pushes himself up, and you see him start walking slowly and then starting to sprint while balancing on the power line.
I'm going to ask for a take a risk.
Totally. Because
that is incredible. I mean, there is a fair bit of chance that you will fail or have something really complicated happen to you. So,
all right.
I feel like we need to take a risk there.
All right. Can I go with death defying and tricks of the trade?
Yes, but you have to do it for an audience.
And I have an audience of Cal, right?
Yes, but there was... Okay, hold on a second. Let me look.
And Entourage.
Well, he's got Entourage too, of course. God damn it. This is what happens when I got too many windows open. Apologies, guys.
Okay, that's why I had to close Dogecoin. It was just pissing me off.
I have... My weakness tag is showman, but I assume that meant like... If I'm not doing it for a crowd, then it's...
Well, so showman, but you're also... yeah, you know what? Looking at all this, they don't apply. Right. So your two weakness tags and escape artist don't apply. So go ahead and roll it.
Okay. Take a risk. 9.
Nice. Okay. So you do start to make this kind of happen, and you start to move faster and faster, right? You do something death defying, and it kind of catches Cal off guard, as you're just a bartender, I'm sure. And you begin to move, but as you move faster and faster, you feel the wire under you begin to kind of bow a little bit and kind of move, and you can continue to do this. But there's an element of risk that you're going to slip and fall at this point. You know that that's going to happen. So you can do this, catch up to them, but you're going to eventually slip and fall, or you can stay behind them, just continue to move forward as you're doing, and you're still going to be a good distance behind them because the wires are just there's too much play in them. You're having too much time going fast and keeping balance at the same time.
Yeah, I'll start to take it a little bit slower, and if I can, just as I get close enough to their building, just sort of with a flourish jump off, and I'm on the opposite side of the building of them at this point, but like getting closer, if that's okay.
Okay. All right. Cal, Anything before the action loses you?
Fuck that.
That's what I thought.
So he's heading back down the fire escape. Just tightrope walking. I can't even say it, let alone do it. Tightrope walking in hooves. Not an easy thing at all. And it's one thing to do manly prancing through the glade where you've got the entirety, the width of the earth under you. This is a little no. So back down the thing, and then just running along the sides of the buildings until he gets to the one where he saw them stop, and then up whatever fire escape he can find in there.
Well, they haven't stopped yet.
Well,
also, though, I was going to make a suggestion. Isn't a satyr just basically have goat parts, right?
I have a few goat parts. I have a few parts that are not necessarily goat-like.
Well, I'm just wondering, couldn't you just like do some, running and jumping and hopping and skipping like a goat?
Would you like me to describe those parts in extremely lurid detail?
I think the audience would appreciate if you did. Personally, no, not right now.
All right. For your sake and thereby the sake of my entire crew. Whom, by the way, chat, we still don't have a name yet, so please feel free to throw suggestions into the thing.
I think the Billy Goats now applies.
No, I don't think
No.
And don't make me go get my Billy Goat shirt.
Billy and the Goats?
No, it's a band that from where I was living in Texas called Billy Goat. And if you do a Google search, an image search for Pan having sex with a goat, there's a sculpture that was made a long time ago, and it's lovely. Anyway.
Okay. All right. So
it's classic art. Don't bitch at me. All right.
I'm not
talking to you.
All right. Anyways, we're gonna so Cal is doing that. Morrigan, Johnny, you guys are on this thing. It's moving faster. Johnny, you're having to try to keep up you're trying to keep the momentum to keep up with this thing, but he is moving incredibly fast. You're hovering over, above them, Morrigan. Who wants to take the next step here? Who wants to try to capture this guy or subdue him or do whatever?
How far away is he from me?
The distance slowly increases because even at your fastest right now, he is faster. He's on 4 legs, and since going on 4 legs, his gait has turned into a gallop in a lot of ways, and so it's his speed is increasing, or his effort is easier for him to, and he's just able to maintain that speed.
So I'm going to actually do something a little crazy here. I'm going to
never.
Johnny, as he's running, he's like and sees a chimney like outside, like one of the roofs, like on one of these city buildings. And when he runs by it, he like gets to the side of it and like projects himself off and like angling himself using his mathematics that he learned in school to shoot himself.
And all his time playing video games.
Yes, hand-eye coordination, and project himself at the thing and try to grapple it and take it down.
What did Johnny get in trigonometry or geometry or even calculus?
It's gonna be
I'm gonna say he got a B.
Oh, okay.
I will just say this. If you would like to wait just like 2 minutes, I have an idea. But you don't know that. Yelling at you. You're like, what the fuck is that crow doing out here?
Well, Johnny's never seen you turn into a crow.
Nobody has. That was something that she shouldn't have done, but she did anyway because she didn't want you to get hurt.
So Johnny's shooting himself at this person because he doesn't know that,
Great.
and McLoken don't metagame. So
I know.
All right. So
Is metagame?
No,
Okay.
no, it's against the rules.
Okay.
It'd be too OP.
You just max meta. I understand.
All right. So I imagine this is another take a risk.
It could be, or it could be hit him with all you got. I mean, I could see that too. Because what you're doing is not you're close you're close in distance to him, right? You're about 20 feet away, so he's moving fast, but you're taking an opportunity to just use everything that you've got right now and
to use math on my side.
Exactly.
I think hit him with all I got. really applies to this one. Okay, so I don't get entourage anymore because Cal's not by me. So yeah, like I'm gonna use
No, Cal is not by you.
Yeah, inhuman strength, impressive, and student for my tags. And I'm gonna try it. Here's a +3.
If it
10?
works, you can make the Kessel Run in less than. Well, never mind.
A 10 works. 10 is a great success.
Yeah.
Okay, so hit him with all you got. On a 10 plus, you get to choose 2 of the following. Plus, you get to choose the type of power or status tag on him that you inflict on him, which will be at power 3, or will be tier 3 based on your power.
So I think I'm gonna do control collateral damage. And then I'm also going to gain the upper hand and take 1 juice.
Okay. So take the upper hand. Collateral damage. You hit him though. Like you launch at him and you hit him. You extend to him a status as well.
Okay.
Knocked up.
So, huh?
No, nothing. I'm sorry, that was wrong. Knocked over.
I mean, I imagine what level status? Hold on, I have a sticky note for this.
You have you use three power tags, right? So it's a status 3 because of it's the amount of the tier equals the power tags.
Status 3. Okay.
Yep.
Can I? Let me see. I'm looking at what I can use here. So okay.
You can use trouble.
So what I'm gonna do is, can I put him in like a pinned maneuver where I have like he's pinned on the ground and like I have one of his arms behind his back, and like in controlling the situation, and that be the status effect? Where it's temporary.
Sure, it's temporarily pinned. Pinned status, or so. How about immobile status 3? Because that's more than just pinned, right? Like he is down. You've either knocked him or something, and he is down, right? Because what you wanted to do was you wanted to control the collateral damage, and then you wanted to take the upper hand as well, right? So you're gonna hit him and knock him, and he's gonna go, essentially prone and immobile. So that's gonna be immobile status 3. It's gonna be temporary, and so he's gonna be on the ground. You're going to gain the upper hand, which means you're gonna kind of land and kind of roll into a stance where you are able to. You're not necessarily in a superior position, but you've got an opportunity to do. You've got the ability to do the next thing. What is the collateral damage that you want to control here?
Like collateral damage. I don't know if we're like in a residential area or a place with a lot of businesses, but I'm just trying to like either like stay on the roof, or if we fall off the roof, I'm trying to control it where we fall in the street and like I don't damage anyone's businesses or anything like that, or burst into someone's house. If lawn ornaments get messed up or a mailbox gets destroyed, I can't control that. I just don't want their.
Why did you hurt Frosty? Stop hurting Frosty.
What about a hooded ornament? Can you crush one of those?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're essentially you're in an area that's more like a commercial district, and you're running across these rooftops in this commercial district of this area, right? You're in a part of downtown where it's not high rises, but you're still in the downtown proper. So there's lots of commercial commercial things going on. There are businesses in the area, and so you are essentially on the 3rd story. You just launched at him while you're on the roof of this 4th roof, and you've pinned him there. So the only real collateral damage would probably be to maybe the wall or the lip on the opposite side, or maybe a door or something like that. So you have a pretty good opportunity to control that. You're not going to do any damage. You've got him immobile on the ground as he's just kind of been pummeled and laying there. And now you're kind of rolled into a position and being able to stand over him and have that 1 juice. And he's just he's just down there, and he's just like for a second he's not moving, and then you hear him start to move and groan, and at the same time there's like a whimper that comes out, almost like a dog, as one of the sounds that he makes. And he's trying to right himself, and he's just trying to to get back onto his feet.
But before he gets onto his feet, can I use my juice to like get him on the ground and like pin his arm behind his back? And as I do it, I'm like, "Are you feeling lucky, punk?" And then holding his arm.
And as you do that, you hear him going, like a yank, kind of a dog kind of a sound, and he's like, "Oh no. Leave me alone. Come on, leave me alone." And you've got him just penned there at this point. And Morrigan, as you're kind of hovering there, seeing this, Johnny's got him at this point. Until you're able to eventually catch up, and so is Cal.
I wait for the rest of the party to get there.
Before you transform back into a normal person.
I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if he's got more people around or.
Crows are normal people.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
That's
awfully. So wait, does a crow show up, or are you just flying above and like?
I've probably landed on a higher roof or whatever, if there is one, or across the way, so you don't see me.
Mm-hmm.
There is a place where you can land and you get advantage.
Yeah, Morrigan doesn't want to scare Johnny because she still considers him a child. So her
I'm a man.
Her motivation is that if he sees some like crow transform into a freaking human while he's distracted with this other thing, it'll go into a not so great way. So
yeah, I agree.
She's being cautious.
Okay.
So there's the sound of heavy boots or something like that on grated steel.
Like a man with coconuts is like following after you,
but more metallic. Yeah.
Okay.
And then Cal comes up around the fire escape. Okay, hold on.
Well, come on, Cal. You got to learn to keep up.
No, if we were doing this in the park, I'd have you all beat. It's fine. Oh God! And he looks.
I didn't know I could do that.
Congratulations on a new discovery. Speaking of which, he looks over at the crow. Nice. And
what?
Nothing. Don't worry about it. So, what do we hear?
I got this person, and you see me, and I got like this person like on the ground and their arm behind their back, and they're like, what do they look like other than?
So they use the facial features I've described, right? The extended, slightly extended snout, the slightly extended nose. They've got bushy eyebrows, very bushy eyebrows. Again, they've got long hair. It's just sort of hanging on their back, but you can see that there are tufts of fur in the hair. They're wearing essentially a jean vest with some patches on the front, but it's the patch on the back that kind of attracts all of your attention. On the back is a big patch with a bunch of animal pictographs, as if like caveman drawing kind of a thing, and at the bottom it says "the beasts." And he's wearing jeans otherwise, and some what looks to be some expensive running shoes. And he's got gloves on his hands that appear to be incredibly scuffed up, where, when he went on all fours and started running. You can see that there are tufts of hair and fur sort of coming out in odd places around the jean vest that he's wearing, and then he's got a wife beater on under it, but it's like a tank top wife beater, and he's whining like a dog. He's in pain, and he's just stop, no, kind of making those kind of noises as Johnny has him pinned, and then he's in a lot of pain.
Yeah, it's just adorable. So Cal's gonna step on it and make sure that one of his hooves is right there in the guy's field of vision as he steps in and kind of kneels down real close.
he kind of leans back as Johnny's got him pinned. He's like, and as you put that hoof right in front of him, he gets a smell of you, and it's just like kind of pulling back.
Hello, Freddy. So what were you doing watching us?
None of your business. Let me go. Come on.
I'm gonna put some pressure on his arm.
My business.
No. No.
No. Johnny, would it be possible for you to rip his arm off and beat him to death with it?
No.
Keep that idea in reserve. Now I'm going to ask you one more time. Why were you watching us?
People are stooping around for our business and just making sure that nobody was going to fall. I got caught though.
Yes, you did. But you're not the only one.
And I'm sure it's a completely legitimate business that you're running here.
Who are you legitimate business? We run on the streets. We're running packs.
Beasts generally do. You telling me that you're anything more than just a bunch of animals? Because I feel like there's something more going on here than just a bit of a hunt.
There's no hunt going on.
All right, then you mind explaining to me anything?
He looks up at you as you say that, and he growls and he says, "Go to hell!" No.
I take his arm and I was like, okay, I'm ripping it out, and then like started applying a little bit of pressure to it.
Slowly.
He's just crying in pain.
Well, are you gonna talk?
I'd be careful.
He's whining.
That kid doesn't know his own strength.
He's whining so much that he can't. You got him pinned so much with his arm and up the back. He can't even like. He's in so much pain at this point, Johnny. I think you don't know your strength at that point.
No.
You're trying to just joke with him, but then his arm literally comes off.
It comes off.
Oh fuck off!
It's like Star Wars. Oh my god!
I'm gonna take the pressure off a little bit so he can talk.
Bring it down to about a 6.
Okay.
If you were going to continue that, I was actually going to have you do a take a risk, because if you failed, an arm definitely was coming off. All right, so he's just thank you.
And Cal's gonna lean in real close. Like close enough that he could bite him if he tried. And Cal's just gonna. Is it the same scent from the alley?
It is. Also on him is a number of other interesting smells. Like you can smell it on his coats and a little bit on his fur. Like there is definitely a hyena smell that comes off of his fur, but off of his coat and other things. You get a lot of different animal scents. Like it's overwhelming, from rodent all the way up to some incredibly large creatures.
Sable?
You don't smell her.
Okay. He's gonna make no effort to hide the fact that he is like sniffing all over him, making it quite clear that you're not the only one who's got the ability to track by scent if he wanted to.
What do you got, Cal?
Do you remember that kid? The one I said smelled like a bunch of dudes.
Still, yeah.
What?
Yeah. Not you. Although now this guy's got a bunch of other scents on him too. He definitely runs with a few. I think beasts is very applicable.
Makes sense.
But
So
not
you got
that
a
young
whole-
lady we ran into before.
Well. Looks like you got a whole menagerie, don't you? Would you mind introducing us? Could share a glass.
What? Every time you mention that, you mention you trying to to get him to reveal, he starts growling towards you, and Johnny just I imagine reinforces it, and he just kind of pulls back.
And instead of like pulling his arm back, he just kind of like grips his wrist a little bit, and like putting pressure on his wrist and not moving his arm.
Oh, ow. Okay.
When he moves his arm up, he goes ah, or he's like, and so he's trying something different to see what works. So he's
Do you
like,
play with the ligaments in his wrist a little bit? Kind of make them uncomfortable. Because when you can grab somebody's wrist, you can sort of feel some of the ligaments in there, and you can pop them or make them.
I think he's aiming for the chakras.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna like use a little bit more control. So like working in the arcade, that's how he learned how to manage his strength, is working with the electronics. So he's gonna kind of be like doing that. Is that like he's gonna be kind of like doing it very lightly, because this person's cardboard and he doesn't want to hurt them. So he's just like gonna do it lightly into his wrist, and then just sit there and see how he reacts.
Okay, so each time that he overdoes it, or he tries to move, or to do something, right? That immobile nature and that playing with it just kind of snaps him back, and that's when you get another whine out of him.
Okay, then I stop as soon as he starts whining.
Okay.
Clearly, we need to take another tack with this particular line of questioning, so I'll go with this. Where's Megan?
Who's Megan? Who? I don't.
You know I can smell when you're lying, right?
He's not lying.
I know.
Just let you know. but he like, no. He starts sniffing at you, trying to get a scent, and when he does, he closes his eyes. Like it's really hard for him, and so he's got to close off the visual to get the right smell. What are you? And he kind of looks up to you. And you're not a goat. What? You're not one of the beasts. Who are you?
I am so much more than that.
What?
Don't worry about it yet, honey. And he looks up at John. He's like, and I apologize for your delicate sensibilities as I say this. You should know that if we don't get the information we're looking for, I am going to fuck you in half. So.
I've never had that thought before.
Well, it wasn't meant for you.
Are you attempting to convince him? Is this the time for a roll, or is this just
that, or I'm looking for a date? I'm not sure which.
I'm really curious, Trent, where you're going with this, man.
Me too, because I'm kind of making it up as I go. Because
it's okay.
We're losing some momentum here if we don't think so. Yeah, I'll go with a convince.
Okay.
Wait, I think I clicked the wrong thing. Yeah, I did. I didn't include any power tags in that.
Well, so you got an 8. So let's talk about what power tags you would have included, because you will just add that on top of it.
Well, ruggedly handsome and charming. I don't know if ruggedly handsome works in this particular case, but
charming works.
Charming definitely works.
I think entourage definitely works.
Well, okay. Didn't we try to figure out if entourage works on me or if it only works on people around me?
I thought it worked on both.
Right, because it's social situations, right?
Yes, it's social situations, and technically you are with people.
So does that mean with entourage? Let's say you're by yourself. Entourage wouldn't work because we're not with you. Oh, okay, got you. Makes sense.
So that, and I don't think I can tell you like me works in this particular case.
Yeah, I think I still think that those two power tags definitely work. And so that means that you get a 10.
Okay.
So with a success of 10, you change their agenda to include yours, at least for the time being. Or you can put a relevant status tag on them, some kind, like intimidate, one of the things that Mike did, I think, back in when we did a 4-episode on my channel, was he did alpha male was a status tag, and it was because they encountered the beast as well, and he intimidated enough to get an alpha male status or an alpha animal status in that particular case. So that's an option if you want to do a status tag, and you are clearly, as a satyr, you are clearly, you can impose that in a very, sort of animalistic way, I guess.
Very deep way.
Yeah, you could do that. So, I mean, those are your options, right? You can do that, or you can have the target's agenda changed for you.
With another very deep, just like I'm just drinking in his scent. All right, look. There is a sort of desperation around you right now, given your current situation, and you're only really getting out of it if you help us. Now, I have no present intention of actually fucking you in half. Figuratively, maybe, but we'll get to that. Hopefully. Suffice to say, whether or not he actually rips your arm off and beats you to death with it, that's a little bit out of my control, sort of.
I do feel a sneeze coming on.
See? So, all I'm saying is, if you want to get out of this intact, help us.
I really don't know. I don't know any Megan, but I might know somebody who does. But it's you'd have to go to Crossend.
Who's in Crossend?
That's where the beast hail from. But not all of them are tough like me.
That's debatable.
So just as we play this scene out, I just want to have a quick clarification from Cal. Mm-hmm. Did you take the status, or did you change the agenda?
I'm kind of going for change the agenda.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Okay, and so he's like, they're all tough like me.
Pity.
Listen, kid, I think we got off on the wrong foot here. Hoof? Paw? Not important. I think we got off on the wrong foot.
I'm looking at his hand like, there's no paw.
Regardless, I think that we got off on the wrong foot here. I can tell you don't know any Megan. We're not here to hurt you, if that's the case. You don't seem to actually know what's going on. But we do need information, and it seems like you have some of it. Can you tell me exactly why it is Beast sent you out this way?
Keep an eye on Xanadu, see who was looking around.
All right. When you go back there, you think you'll be telling them you saw anyone?
No.
Good answer.
You're gonna let me go with my arm.
That can be arranged. Now, I don't have too many questions to ask you, but I do have to wonder. I don't know much about the beasts. I'm not overly familiar with the gangs here. You guys running any other gangs as well?
Are you investigating now?
I'd say so.
Okay, well, I think you're going to need to make a roll for that.
Makes sense.
Just so you know, this is built on Cal's choice to convince, but there was a lingering thing that you did not follow up on there, so you're going to lose it.
No, the going to that place. Yeah, I mean we can still go there.
Roll your investigate.
Okay. So can I get?
You're going to get entourage because you're with Cal.
Right. Entourage. People trust me. Good listener. Fake smile.
Sure. I guess that all sounds about right.
A question.
That all seems right. Yes.
All right. And let's investigate. So that is a 9.
All right. So you get four questions to get him to answer. So 4 clues. You can spin those as questions.
Okay.
But because it's a mild success, one of those things listed in that is going to come up.
Okay. So tell me, I don't know much about the Beast. They sound like a fairly new gang from the sound of things.
You don't get to cross end much, do you? We run cross end.
Oh, do you? Very interesting. See, I was under the impression that that the police still had some sort of control over Cross End. I'm sure they'd be very interested to hear more about you and your friends.
You clearly haven't been across, and the police haven't been there in a while.
Again, that can be arranged. So tell me, who was it that you said I could talk to over in Cross End?
Very good.
I thought Cross End. I didn't think Cross End was a district. I thought it was like a bar or something.
No, it is a district. It is.
Okay.
It is the. So, just for clarification purposes, before I answer this next question, Cross End is essentially a slum bordering on absolute ruin. It's one of the oldest districts. It's not the oldest, the Golden Quarter being the oldest. The Cross End is one of the rundown districts, sort of on the peripheral of the city.
Got it.
It borders on essentially fields, open fields leading into a forest. Mm-hmm. But as you get from the city proper and move into Cross End, at the border, all the buildings look still intact. They're slums. And then as you get farther and farther out, they're more derelict and they're crumbling and they're falling apart to the point where you get towards the edge of the city. And at the edge of the city, they are just in complete ruins, and there's no roofs. It almost looks like a war zone in some way. And there's a reason that the cops don't go out to Cross End. And so he's like, well, you speak. Most of the beasts won't talk to you. If you find Morty, he's a dumb kid. They have him watching all the time. Keeping an eye on things. If you catch him, he knows a lot. He's sort of a weakling.
I thought all the beasts were real strong guys, though, like you.
The calling. What calls us the call of the wild? It brings all kinds.
You say the
4
calling?
questions.
No,
calling.
The calling. Okay.
I kind of heard culling as well, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, no, I wasn't implying that there is some sort of yeah.
All right. Another question. I mean, you guys clearly run like an animal pack. You happen to know any?
You asked 4 questions. You're not going to get
that was
this
all
one.
of them? Oh,
Yeah.
Yes, you asked 4 questions.
Shit. All right. Well.
What did he say about the calling? I want to write that down.
The calling. He said the calling. The calling brings all kinds of beasts. You can continue to ask questions. I just wanted to let you know that you were out of the frame of the investigate roll. So
Totally fine. All
Do we need anything else?
I mean, all kinds wouldn't happen to include a certain hyena jackal type, would it?
I'm sorry, repeat that?
All kinds wouldn't happen to include a certain hyena type, right? Would it, or which,
And he just gets aggressive at that point, and he starts growling at you and starts burning his teeth. And even as Johnny's kind of like holding on to him, he's getting incredibly aggressive.
all right. So, Doggy still has some bite in him. Listen, we're gonna let you go, kid. There's no need to be so aggressive.
I'll reach out to Johnny and take a hold of this guy's hand, his arm. If Johnny will, of course, release it.
I mean, sure. Are you sure?
Yeah. We said we'd let him go.
All right. And I give him his arm.
And I'm going to help him up.
And you just, as you know, it's like you hear the pop of his
I'm also
shoulder.
going to kind of rub on it a little bit to try to just keep breathing. It'll be all right.
And you help him up, I guess. And he sort of stands, and he's kind of cowering still, just with the three of you kind of there, and the Morgan's just still, kind of in form.
Is she still a crow?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just been watching.
And I kind of reach over and kind of put my hand way up on the shoulder, kind of on the side of his neck. Just bring his eyes up to mine. As Johnny takes a bite of something.
Chips.
Yeah.
He has a bunch of food in his backpack.
Yeah,
so.
I know. And just including hot wings, which is
And oysters, whatever.
right, oysters Rockefeller. Anyway, he's gonna bring the guy's eyes up to his and just look at him, just good solid gaze. He's like, good boy. Like, get out of here.
And he just
wait. And then before he leaves, does he leave?
He's starting to move.
I'm like, wait. And I like pull out some food. And I'm like, here. Sorry about your arm.
And he kind of reaches in. He comes in muzzle first and kind of starts to eat out of your hand. And you feel a lick on your hand as he's licking the crumbs, and then he takes off. And you see
Morgan's
him
gonna
run.
follow him.
Okay.
Nice.
You see him run, and he
Now.
jumps off. He jumps off the roof down to the street level and continues to run until he gets to a subway station and goes down the subway station.
Okay, before he goes into the subway station, I'm using my dive as a crow, which is 60 miles per hour, to get to him, land on him in full form as another jackal that looks just like him, and I'm going to rip his throat out.
Holy shit!
I'm sorry. I am rarely stunned as a GM, or sorry, as an MC. Give me a second to catch my breath.
Sure, I need to go pee, so go ahead.
Okay. So
I'm
is
gonna
that a
deal
hit
with
with all
this.
you got?
Yeah.
Or is that stop holding back?
No, let's hit him with all we've got. I've been watching and observing his form. All I need to do to transform into it is to see it. And so I'm basically mimicking the teeth of a jackal to essentially create a situation where the gang might think that they're turning on each other.
Interesting. Okay.
God,
Right.
I'm glad I'm on your good side. Jesus.
I'm going to say the same exact thing. Okay, so roll it. What power tags?
Crow, embody. Where is it? Furious Rage.
Okay. Anything else? I mean, you can apply as many tags as you want.
Technically grant power since I'm giving myself the power, but I don't know if that's like overlapping too much with the embodiment.
I don't think that it is.
Okay.
Do you think that you're enraged? As a
I'm
weakness?
really pissed off right now.
Okay. So I think that we'll add that as a weakness tag then.
Okay. So they're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 minus 1, so 3.
Okay.
And you want me to hit them with all you've got? Where?
That seems the most appropriate, unless you can think of a better one.
No, I think that's highly appropriate.
Okay.
Did I do that right? Nope, that's 5. That's definitely not the right thing at all. Okay.
Wow. Okay. So, Jesus. So you're gonna inflict a status tag of 3.
Dad. Oh.
Well, 3, right? So she's making the attack, right? And she's ripping his throat out, or she's ripping at his throat. And so immediately we get a status tag at tier 3. What are we calling it? Gashed throat.
I would say evisceration.
Evisceration. Okay. Evisceration 3. Now you can do one of the following from that, right? You can add a power. You can add, essentially a +1 status to that. And just to be clear, that would kill him.
Mm-hmm.
You could do any of those others, but it sounded like your intent was to kill him. So you can choose one of those to inflict on top of the tier 3 of evisceration.
Sure.
All right, so you're evisceration 4, and you come in, and what does it look like when you land on him and do this? I mean, describe it for us. Really bring us into the moment.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. It's almost like a blur, and it's obviously it's nighttime, right? So at this point, if there were kind of lights that come from the subway a little bit, that ambient light would be like a blur that goes across it as she mutates out of Crow and transitions simultaneously and fluidly into the shape of a jackal as she kind of lunges out of nowhere into him and pins him to the ground, and then at the side of his neck just grabs and rips it out with her mouth as the teeth tear through all the flesh and pull all the muscle and the tendons out as blood is gushing out from his neck and out of his mouth. And then she kind of just spits out what she's got in her mouth and stays in her form of the jackal and starts to walk away.
To where? Back
down
to them?
An alleyway. No, down to an alleyway.
Okay.
You guys think she's coming back?
Well, she wasn't even here yet.
I'm sure she'll show up eventually.
Drinks?
You have a bar on you?
We're 2 buildings over.
Oh, I guess that's true. Yeah, I could. I mean, are we just going to go back to Xanadu?
What time is it?
It is bordering on 1 o'clock now.
I'm going to pull out my phone as I notice what time it is. I'm like, oh, and I text my friend Chris, and I'm like, basically my text message says, I'm telling my parents I'm spending a night with you. I had to work late, and that you live in the area, so I'm going to crash with you. And then, so heads up, and send him that text, and then I'd be like, hold on, I'll be right back, and I leave, and I go call my parents.
To answer your question, then, Salty Ginger, what the guy did was answer all of our questions as he.
You don't know Morrigan very well.
I know.
You're right.
That's very true.
We're learning very, very quickly.
She did show a vision of a man getting beaten to death by all of his friends with his limbs. So
We didn't really know that, though.
No, we didn't.
We saw him
Nor
get
do
really
we know
scared.
about what just happened.
That's true.
Down the way.
Yeah, all we saw was him get very scared and then very calm.
So yeah, I pull out my phone and I kind of walk away from everyone and I call my parents.
Do you want to have that conversation, or do you?
I mean,
is that just
I
sort of
don't know.
on-off
That's
speed
up to you. I'm calling my parents, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to be at Chris's because I had to work a little bit late. Something happened with the police, but everything's fine. I wasn't in any trouble. I got my money, and yeah.
Oh,
And I'm gonna be at my friend Chris's. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Johnny, you're supposed to mow the lawn in the morning. You got to get home early.
I will, Dad. Okay, God.
Okay. And tell Chris's dad I said hi. We need to. We're gonna have a 4:00 tea time on Sunday. That means golf, not actually drinking tea. Okay.
I mean, okay, I'll tell him that.
Okay.
All right, bye, Dad.
Mom says love.
All right, love you too, Mom.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Click. And then I text Chris and be like, tell your dad or remind your dad that my dad and your dad have a 4:00 tea time on the golf course.
And he very shortly responds with, "Where the fuck else would they have it?"
My actual friend Chris would probably respond with that.
All right, and so the four of you, or the three of you, begin to head back towards Xanadu. Let's cut back to Morrigan.
I kind of had to clean up, so I went to my car and took care of the remnants of blood and such, and then transformed back into myself.
So what does that process include in cleaning up, just out of curiosity?
This jackal standing in a car. Oh.
So in trunk of my vehicle where the spare tire would normally be,
Okay.
I have a kit. We'll just call it a kit. And I use it when necessary. So, yeah.
Okay, so I have a reason for asking this particular question, this next question. Is this the kind of thing that would actually fall into an extreme level of cleaning yourself up? Like, would this be the kind of thing like almost Dexter level of, just kind of removing all the fibers and hairs and everything from you? Or is this just sort of like change of clothes, baby wipes to kind of wipe yourself down, and there's, plastic bags to be able to dispose of any, clothes or evidence, that kind of a thing?
So the thing is that technically she wouldn't have to clean herself up. It's just an extra effort on her part to embody the cleaner version of herself, which is just a pain in the ass. So that's why she just cleans up. So it's mostly to get rid of the blood. She can transform her clothes at will if she really wanted to. So there'd be no blood evidence on her anyway. Yeah. All right. So it's more of a cleanliness thing, like, ew, blood, gross, in my mouth, this guy. So, yeah.
It's your own fault for biting him.
He deserved
Phrasing, but yeah, let's just move on. All right. So where does Morrigan go after that? She's
waiting outside of Xanadu. She's talking to the bouncer.
Tamonte is very interested in you, and he finds you alluring as you both are having a conversation as the three of them walk up.
And I call him Tamonte. Most other people don't get that privilege.
Well, I'm referring to him as Tamonte or the bouncer, depending upon the context of the situation. And because you know him, that's why I referred to him as Tamonte. And he might have introduced himself to such a lovely lady as Morrigan.
How long were we gone for? Like, we came outside, we saw the guy in the roof. From that moment, how long have we been gone for?
Probably a good 10 to 15 minutes, maybe more, depending upon how long the questioning actually occurred. And how long it took you to kind of casually walk back? Because, I mean, you guys were about a quarter of a mile at that point away, right?
So it's probably been more around a half an hour then.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hi, guys. Where you been?
Oh.
Seems like a question we should be asking you.
Wait, hasn't she been here the whole time?
That's right, Johnny. I have been.
Okay, well...
Don't believe her. That's absolutely just not true.
Why? What happened?
I mean... Well,
we are a team now, aren't we?
Yeah, sure. Johnny, are you hungry?
Yes.
Okay. T, can we go back in?
Absolutely.
But I mean, feel free to keep chatting up the lady.
I've got to. We're closing up in a little while. I got to do my thing, but anytime
Wait,
you
is
want
the
to come
kitchen
back,
still open?
kitchen is always open while we're open here, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I want more food. That sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
And Cal, that thing that we were talking about, yeah, you smell it.
That you mentioned that getting together for a smoke. The hookah lounge you recommended was very good. I think I may have found one that might be better. So next one's my treat.
What part of town?
Northeast side.
Oh, not familiar with that area. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah.
Give me a call.
Will do. I'm just gonna glance at Johnny. Go get some.
Johnny's already inside.
I'm looking around. 2 glance at Johnny, and he's already gone.
Yeah.
Back at the same.
Basically, when he's like, "Is the kitchen open?" Yeah, it's open. He was like gone inside.
And he's back basically at the same table. Lisa is taking care of him, making sure that the food is coming in.
He's got a giant double hamburger, and he's like,
He's gonna stroll very slowly and occasionally kind of glance back to see if Morrigan's coming yet.
Yeah, I'm following.
Yeah.
Following.
We'll wait till we sit down before we start talking again. So Morrigan, see anything interesting? Did he just leave?
Nothing interesting. Just the usual.
Seems like you were gone a while. You do anything else? Take any
Just
phone
lost in
calls?
thought. No, I usually don't talk to people this late. My clients are only allowed to call me during normal business hours.
I wasn't talking about clients.
You hungry at all?
I could eat.
I don't doubt it.
So, did you guys find any information that's useful?
You would know. You heard it all too.
Well, I'd
She
like
wasn't
to
there.
take on it. What should our next step be at this point? We have to find somebody, go somewhere, anything.
Mori. Seems like the only place to go. Only lead we have, right? Unless you know something else.
I don't know who that is.
I was directed it at you.
What, Cal?
No, at Morgan. Yeah. Was that line in character too? Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You can stop playing dumb. I mean,
I'm not playing dumb. Where are we going next? That's what I want to know.
Fuck, what was that district called? Cross
End.
Cross End.
Fuck them.
Cross End, where the beasts are.
So let's just go there. Johnny should probably go home, though.
I mean, I don't know about you, but personally I like having some muscle around. I mean, I can get out of situations, but I'd rather be able to get it into them too.
Well, that should be up to him, I guess, if he wants to put himself at risk.
I already got it figured out. I'm going.
Okay.
We could always wait till tomorrow too. Scumbags ain't going anywhere.
Whether we know of.
That's true.
And who knows what might happen to one of them when they're off by themselves.
Well, I mean, the other one was weird. He licked my hand.
Yeah.
I hope you wash your hands before eating.
Yes.
Dogs' mouths are cleaner than humans. Everyone knows that.
Did he look like a dog, or did he look human to me?
He looked mostly human with dog features, right? Like there was a pronounced, look to him that stood out. That he did have canine-like features, but you didn't see his teeth weren't bare and he wasn't like slobbering, but his nose and mouth was pronounced a little bit, right? He had these tufts of hair, but he didn't. His hands were still hands; they weren't paws, at least as far as you could tell.
So why do you guys keep calling him a dog?
Didn't seem very feline to me.
Well, I mean, I haven't met anyone else who has like special abilities like I do. So, excuse me. So it just seems kind of weird. Was he like a dog person?
Close.
And he said you're a goat.
Yeah, I did.
Are you a goat?
No.
What are you?
Half. I think it's a bit rude, honestly, saying you're just a goat. It's like calling a screwdriver orange juice.
Yeah.
What?
Nothing. You'll figure it out when you're older.
But these beasts certainly do seem to have something going on. Morrigan, you're the one with the gang knowledge. How much do you know?
Gang knowledge? I don't have gang knowledge. I don't treat gang members. I treat the victims of gang members.
I think Brett would have something different to say about that, right?
And the treatment,
He would, but he needs to come and see me first.
and with the treatment of victims of gang members must by default come some knowledge of gangs. Certainly more than I have.
Potentially, yes. A lot of them are child or female victims that are too afraid to speak, which is why they're in therapy.
I mean, outside of that, you
Technically-
work enough with the cops, right?
Yes, I do. I could find out what the detective knows so far about whatever evidence they've pulled. I doubt that there will be much more than what we know. I do know we're not making any progress whatsoever on finding the sisters at this point. And if this gang has to do with it, they have to do with the other 3 gangs as well. So we have the beasts and the alley cats and the skulls and what's the third one?
That would be the fourth one.
The fourth one, sorry.
Oh, there's a fourth one?
So there's only been 3 mentioned so far in the game.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, the beasts were the third one.
That's the beast. Okay, that's
Okay.
what I thought. Okay.
So the beasts were the ones that the detective had only barely heard of, or is that the alley cats?
It was the alley cats.
Okay.
yeah. Somebody else was working the alley cats case, which I believe Cal knows that detective, right? When they
No.
were when we were talking about the different detectives. Is that correct?
Not biblically, but yes.
Yes, he was familiar. He was familiar
Yeah.
with Catherine Devereaux.
Right, Catherine Devereaux. Okay. So all we know is that
Not according to Roz.
all we know is that the 3 sisters are missing, and the police have absolutely no leads.
Well, who?
3 sisters
Who-
missing, taken by 3 different gangs from 3 different places, and no
On the
known
same
motive.
night.
And I'm willing to bet that each of them was taken by some sort of bestial type.
Okay. That's fair, I think, as an assessment. But Cal, you said that you could smell something.
Oh, I can
Familiar?
smell a lot of things.
I mean, at the scene where Phoebe went missing. Did you also feel or smell those things anywhere else, like here or on the roof?
In the alley and on him.
Well, I don't think we have any other choice but to go find
What about the patch?
which one.
The one on the back of his vest.
Um,
Oh, the other one you guys have found outside the gala.
That was a skull.
the Skulls gang.
That
badge.
one didn't smell?
That one did smell.
It did.
What did it
So-
smell like?
Sort of the same thing I smelled in the alleyway. Which could indicate that at least one of the skulls is working with one of the beasts, or
Do you think they're all working together?
that's one of my worries. The
That
other
wouldn't
of
make
them-
sense. They're territorial, right?
unless they have suddenly developed some higher purpose. Yes,
Or someone's paying them enough.
To
that
be fair,
would be a higher purpose.
they're territorial, but in different places. The skulls were in the blue collar district, right? Totally different.
So none of them are actually the mastermind behind any of this.
No. Well, if anyone, I'd say it's the beasts. They seem to have people running in different gangs.
And I don't know. I think it's more than that.
It has to be.
Julia isn't a member of the Beast, as near as I can tell, and I did spend a fair bit of time with her.
Oh, I know.
No, you really don't. But, however,
Okay, so here's what I know about Phoebe's last 24 hours. She was obviously this is from her day, and she Morrigan pulls out her notes because she's a therapist. Of course, she has to write things down. So she had her weekly meeting with her sisters in the morning today. Okay. And then she had her lunch date with Whitney Knox. And he went to her about not wanting her to run as the chairman. Then she was supposed to meet Megan at Xanadu. But obviously that didn't happen. And the last time that she had met with Harold, she refused dinner with him. And so he instead came to her office and to talk to her about the chairman position. So in my opinion, Harold, Whitney Knox, something has to be connected there. Both of them don't want her as chairman.
I mean, the chairman position is one thing, but why take all three?
Yeah, not all of them had anything to do with the chairman position, right?
It has to be connected somehow.
I mean, could just be a smokescreen. Take all three, and people don't think it's
Well,
about
yeah,
Phoebe.
absolutely.
Did Johnny? Did we see the video when Megan got took?
Taken.
She got took.
I don't think we did.
I don't think you did. You heard the description from Mr. Gallows, and you heard the description from Tamonte, I believe, but you did not actually see the video. You could prompt them to see the video.
Yeah, okay. I didn't remember last time if we did or not. So I sit there and I'm eating and I'm like, what about the video?
Surveillance video.
Yeah. Doesn't every club have those? I mean, most businesses do nowadays, right?
They said they had one, but it sounded like there wasn't anything interesting on it.
Yeah, we heard that the police had already looked at it, right?
yeah.
You guys seem to be taking a lot of people's words where you don't take a lot of your own words at each other.
It's a good point.
There's
From the mouth of babes.
Very insightful, Johnny.
that sort of trust is earned, and there could be anything that could damage it.
I don't know them, so I mean, what would be hurt to ask and look at it?
I didn't necessarily mean them. And just kind of glance over at the Morrigan briefly, and then look back at the.
She can read exactly what Geo and Cal are thinking right now,
Mhm.
as far as that goes.
Yep.
And then you just go over the thought bubble on on Johnny is just like a giant turkey, and he's like,
But now, if we factor into this the fact that the day that you and I first met, Gio, was the day that that particular position at the corporation opened up.
That's true. It's got to be connected to that too. I mean,
What position? The chairman
of the
position?
Walk of...
Yes. We were at a coffee shop.
That was Walker's death, right? The murder that they haven't solved yet.
Yeah.
So then
Remember
that
then.
has to all be connected. Well, shit.
The
Sorry, Johnny.
lady that damned certain perpetrated that might as well have been in the beasts, but
Did
there
the
was
police
no
have any
center on.
leads? from
None
that?
that they'll share with us.
Well, then maybe I should make a phone call.
You sure she doesn't know anything else she hasn't told you?
You talking to Cal?
Yeah, it's about one.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. So you are talking to Cal?
Talking to Cal about Julia.
Oh, about Julia. Okay. You're talking about Morgan. I'm like,
No,
yes.
no.
Most of our conversations have not really run that way.
You know, I kind of got that impression, but it seems like it might be worth following up on. I mean...
Look, the way things between she and I are working right now, it's pretty easy for her to keep us off of our tails, so to say. Remember, she wasn't there for us. The only reason she was going to come after us is because we saw who she was. My arrangement with her keeps you off of her radar, keeps me tangentially on her radar, and keeps Malcolm off of her radar. Presumably, little girl with the jolly green giant too, but if I start to broach that subject again, things might change.
So should I make a call?
Yeah.
Johnny has walked off by this point.
Great.
Where?
Where did Johnny go?
He went looking for Mr. Gallows.
He's currently at the bar talking to quite a young fellow as Tamonte walks in, escorts the two of them that is talking to Mr. Gallo towards the back room. And he turns and he says, Johnny, right?
Yeah.
What can I do for you, Johnny?
You were talking about that tape earlier?
Why is everybody interested in our videos? What I don't
Well, did you hear that Miss Phoebe got taken?
Sadly, yes. Another friend. It's weird, the three sisters.
I was working at the gala when it happened.
Really?
And then it was weird because there are some gang members involved. But you know, like it's that's beside the point. There's a lot of weird shit going on, and maybe that videotape will help because Megan was her sister, and it might kind of help figure out who took them. You know?
And he says, Johnny, let's go back. I see Cal over there and your other friends. Let's go talk to them. And he kind of escorts you over. And as he's doing that, he passes you a plate of nachos.
Oh, well.
Very easily distracted.
And he steps you back over. Cal, I see you're back. That was sort of a short exit and return.
Yeah.
Things okay?
Oh. Difficult to say. I mean, the sisters aren't back yet, so no, not completely.
And you've got some eyes on your business, just so you know.
There's always eyes on my business. That's what Tamonte's here for. It's his job to watch everything.
But who watches the watchers?
That is a terrible cliche. Please don't quote it to me again. And he looks back to Cal and he's just shaking his head and he goes. So that's a difficult question to answer. But Cal, I've never known you not to have your words. You're
Yeah. All right. So, you encouraged us to go check out the side alley where.
That's where she disappeared, and I know that you were interested. And Johnny just mentioned that he
Wait.
was.
He said a lot of people are interested in that tape.
Well,
the nachos are gone, and he's not distracted anymore. I was like, who's looking at the tape?
Lisa.
More food shows up, and he's just like, oh.
Well, Lisa begins to to head into the back, and he's like, "Well, some friends of mine, actually, the owner of the club, Mr. Xanadu, is here right now, and he's back with a friend of his, kind of checking the tape out for various different reasons." So.
Calvin would kind of what and sort of start craning around, looking.
There's this kid, he calls himself Mr. Xanadu. I didn't catch his real name, and he begins to describe Malcolm to you. And he just, he goes on and on about this kid and his, army jacket and his scarf, and he acts like a 12-year-old, but, he looks more like he's 18 or 19.
Calvin leans forward and is like, Malcolm.
Is that the kid's name? He comes in and calls himself Mr. Xanadu, thinks he owns the place. And you know what? He's quite a sweet kid. I really just, I indulge him. I think he's
bit weird.
He's entertaining, Cal.
Give you that.
Wait, so why is Malcolm interested in the tape? Food's gone again.
They were looking for something in relation to. Monte said it. It was the skulls, I think.
Malcolm was also at the coffee shop that day.
Were we at a coffee shop?
You weren't there. It was a couple
weeks ago.
So if he's looking into this, and we are looking into this.
I mean,
and look over at the Morgan. Yes. To answer your question, yes.
Oh.
I mean, he looks at Mr. Gallows, kind of looks between Cal and looks between Morgan back. Do I need to leave you two to sort something out?
No, we'll deal with it all in due time.
Okay.
You said Mal was asking about the skulls. Is there anything you know about them? Or the beasts, for that matter?
What do you care about the beasts? As I understand it, the skulls are a blue-collar neighborhood gang. Well, your neighborhood, Cal. I think you've had a run-into with Samuel.
Yeah.
He's got a particular affinity for... I don't know how to quite to describe it. He's got a particular affinity for picking some ones that are silent but deadly. And he's kind of weird at working out of his funeral home there. But the beasts are at a cross end. Everybody knows the beasts because they're so interesting. We've had a couple of run-ins with them in here, and we usually have to kick them out. Tamonte has usually got his foot up somebody's rear, just making sure that they're back on the street because they tend to sneak in here.
Well, earlier when we were at the party over at Whitney's place, we found a skull's patch that smelled distinctly like it had been in the presence of one of the beasts, not to mention the one that we just dealt with.
Yeah.
Are they all meeting somewhere?
Cal, what are you doing messing around with low lives like that. And he steps back a little bit, and you see him sort of square up, and you get a full sense of the presence of Mr. Gallows at this point.
Yep.
And the glint of the light off of the lapel brooch sort of gleams a little bit. That's a dangerous group of individuals to be hanging out with, Cal.
I wouldn't say we were hanging out with them, Oscar. It's more like we get the feeling that they are very heavily involved in what's going on. And I mean, our options are to either look into this or to sit back and do nothing and wait and see what the cops can come up with.
And sitting and waiting doesn't really seem to do much, because the last time we did that, we ended up at the same party again and getting dragged the hell back into it.
That would be correct.
So let me step back in respect to this conversation and ask this very basic question to all of you. And he encompasses, his look towards Morrigan and Gio and Johnny as well as Cal. Why are you so interested in Megan's disappearance? I know you were at the party up in Olympus. Why is it so important to all of you?
Oh, Miss Phoebe was nice to me.
Sisters
so
usually are.
If we find Megan, then we find Miss Phoebe, and then everyone will be happy again.
And though most of our dealings were business, much like Johnny said, they were genuinely nice. I very much enjoyed their company.
You didn't call me strapping.
Well, that was
Harold.
Yeah.
Well, I know, but she did not call me strapping.
My son has no tact. I apologize.
Personally, I never really knew Miss Phoebe or Megan or the other one. And couldn't really be bothered to. But it seems like this is important somehow. And as much as I would like to just go back to serving drinks at my bar, I get the feeling that someone wouldn't be too happy about that. We're too deep now.
And Mr. Gallows, Oscar, kind of turns and looks at Morrigan. You're strangely silent.
I'm just listening. It's kind of a habit since I'm a therapist. I can't really help it. Yeah.
You're quite a bit more than that, young lady.
I think everybody's a little bit more than they seem.
Touche. I'm going to regret asking this. And you can see that all of the jolly sort of disposition, the club owner / manager sort of, host has disappeared from him. And you instead see the serious sort of side of him, very somber. On his face, his lines on his face are a little deeper. The shadows are a little darker. Even his beard and his hair are a little more gray. How can I assist you, Cal? Because clearly it sounds like you're on a mission here, and you don't take to these types of things very well. And I'm not going to let an old friend get hurt.
Honestly, I don't know. And at the very least, possibly looking at the tape.
And at that, he motions, as you can see Tamonte kind of walking back towards the door, and he kind of waves him back over. Go on.
She's gonna reach out to another detective to see what information she can get regarding the incident at the coffee shop and where that investigation might be going, since we're convinced that they're connected.
Wait, are you saying that this has something to do with Gerald's death?
Well, how could it not?
Who's Gerald?
Gerald Walker was the chairman of the Walker Foundation.
Well, that name keeps coming up.
Yes.
And Gallus steps back as you're having this conversation to talk to Tamonte while this continues.
I mean, that's what Harold was talking about Mrs. Phoebe about.
Right. When Gerald died at the coffee shop the day that Gio and I met, the woman who killed him just walked out, but she noticed that we had seen her and knew who she was, so we could identify her. So this other person who moved really damn fast kept telling us that we needed to go away and hide, and at the same time kept trying to bring us all together and keep us from fucking going anywhere. Anyway, we
Wait.
managed.
1 second.
Gallus steps up at that.
You said you can identify the woman that killed Gerald?
Yep.
Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you need just a picture of her and say, this is her? Can you describe her?
Yep.
So why haven't you gone to the police?
Because the police are not going to find her. If I do, the police are not going to find her before she kills Gio, Malcolm, me, and Lily. Is that what the girl's name was? We will all be dead long before they ever find her.
Who's she associated with?
I don't know. But she is also more than she seems.
I'm getting that.
Maybe I could fight
For
her.
everything. I
Another
apologize.
plate arrives for Johnny.
You know, Johnny, I honestly think that perhaps you could.
Maybe he
However.
should.
Oh, you know what?
But there is now another snag on that particular claw. To be blunt, she and I have been having sex for several weeks now. So, but that is my part of the bargain that keeps us all safe.
Well, that sounds like an awesome bargain.
Yeah, you would think so.
Okay, Cal. I need a minute. And Morgan just like leaves.
Fucking hell.
And as Morgan leaves, Oscar steps up, even more so into the conversation. Why don't the three of you follow Tamonte? He's going to show you into the room. Mr. Xanadu has left. He's satisfied with what we showed him. Why don't you step into the room with them and you can take a look, and Tamonte will cue up the video that we have. It's going to break, on the news in the next day or two anyways, I'm sure, because we gave it to the cops and we signed a release to be able to give it to them so that it would pass out. So, Cal, and Oscar looks at you, looking in your eyes. This isn't your thing. Be careful.
Yeah, I know.
And his smile begins to come back onto his face, and his demeanor changes, and his hair grows wider, and the gleam sort of disappears a little bit from the brooch. All right, Tamonte's got you guys. Johnny, you know where your food is. I'm moving around. I'm moving on. Good luck, gentlemen.
All right. What about Morgan?
They'll let her know where we are.
Okay.
You think she's calling the cops?
If she is, hopefully it's about the case and not my involvement in it. All right. Let's go look at this.
Johnny's walking with a plate of food to the back room.
And we're going to cut to Morrigan. Where do we find you wandering off to?
I went to the bar for whiskey.
What kind of whiskey?
Irish.
Irish single malt probably. Tall probably. 16 year.
Okay. And they definitely have it, as they have just about every other single malt of any particular year that you would be able to request. And so you see Tamonte kind of walk over to them, and they begin to kind of move on towards, as Gallows kind of steps up behind you and says, "You okay?"
I just know this isn't going to end well for anybody. Especially not with sisters.
Sisters can take care of themselves.
I'm not worried about that.
And he kind of looks you up and down again, and he says, "You don't spend a lot of time with other people in this capacity, do you?"
Whenever I talk to somebody, all I can see is how they are damaged.
Maybe sometime you can look past that.
I've done that before. Doesn't work out so well.
Well, the difference this time, young woman, is that Cal is a good friend of mine. And I will do anything for my good friends.
How long have you known Cal?
Longer than I care to admit.
So what would his motivation be in making this deal? Do you think it's really to save the other people or himself?
I know that you probably don't know him well enough or have seen him in the right circumstances, but Cal has a noble heart, and he's quite a charmer.
I got that much. The second part.
Cal does what he thinks is right, and sometimes he doesn't remember that he's not capable of some of the hard stuff. But I know that you are, which is why I'm going to ask you to take care of my good friend.
Well, then I have a lot of work to do.
And he reaches behind the bar, pulls out the bottle of what you're drinking, puts it on, and says, "On the house. Now, take care of yourself and them, especially the two that really have no idea what they're getting into. You know which two I'm talking about."
Yep.
And he says, "All right, well, I hope to see you later." And he moves
Hopefully
on.
under better circumstances.
I'll buy the rounds.
Okay. All right. After this, she's going to go make her call to Roth.
Okay, so we're going to cut to Monte showing the three of you the video, and what you see is you see the fights that happened in the alleyway, the unusual circumstances of Flora and JP sort of taking on these two.
Naked JP?
With multiple naked JPs, 3 of them to be exact. And then that situation sort of resolves itself. I'm sorry, is there a problem with the number?
No. Well, there could be more.
Are we watching the video?
Yes.
Covering Johnny's eyes.
I'm gonna have to tell Oscar to get a high def camera in this alley.
And he, the video goes on, and there's an unusual circumstance where it looks like Megan doesn't really need Flora and JP's help. She begins to walk towards the end of the alley and around the corner. Tamonte says, "Okay, hold on a second." And he kind of cues up another one, and you see her kind of walk, and she kind of stops for a second, and there's a flash of snow, and the picture goes completely away. And when it comes back a second later, she's gone. Sorry, go ahead.
When I see the flash, what's this recorded on?
It is videotape.
Betamax.
Vintage.
Vintage Betamax.
Is there a way I can look at the VCR player and like fuck with the tracking to see and do arcade repair and electronics repair on the VCR to see if I can fix something for an investigate?
Okay, an investigate definitely works here.
Okay,
those two.
So I get a +3. Let's see.
Can I back him up at all?
You do get a plus. You do get one more because of Entourage.
No, that is with Entourage.
Oh, that is with Entourage?
Because I only have student arcade repair, electronics repair. That's the only two I can see. So that's with Entourage right there.
Okay. All right. So you begin to fiddle with it, and you're kind of messing with the tracking. You're like, oh, and you bust out a tool to be able to kind of help you a little bit. And the next thing you know, you hear the gears grinding on the tape, and it goes, and it's like all of a sudden it just pops out. And as you're pulling the tape out, you can see that the videotape itself is kind of wound in through the head and around the red, and it's just like it's starting to tear.
This is why it's snowflakes. And then like he's trying to like fix it like vigorously.
By the way, this is the perfect place to fail. I love this. It's so good.
Johnny, please stop trying.
I have it. Leave me alone.
Johnny, Betamax is the superior. Oh no. It was just a shitty advertising campaign. The only reason that VHS went no.
Johnny's just gonna try to fix it and then see if he can.
That was certainly weird. I mean, who are those other people? Should we be looking for them?
Were they gang members?
Didn't look like it. No.
So the individuals that you saw on this. So go ahead.
So when I saw the two individuals earlier, did one of them look like JP?
Yes.
I was like, wait, that other guy was just here
With Malcolm.
with the kid.
Looks like Mal's found himself another group of friends. Shame, 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 Cal.
Wait, did we see that scene where someone got melted with acid?
You did see something that looked weird, but it didn't really it wasn't very clear on the graininess of the camera, right, and the video. What you did see, though, was these two individuals dressed in suits. Because it was black and white, you couldn't really tell, but it was, it was a shade of gray kind of a suit. Impeccably groomed, mustache and beard and hair, short hair. You did also see that one of them pushed Flora back, like pretty far. Like there was something off about these guys in suits. They looked really similar.
Huh. Maybe they're kind of like us or something. Maybe they have something to do with it.
Almost certainly.
Well, they don't look like to be part of any gang, though. And this is as he's like fixing the tape.
Well, neither did Julia. She wore a very nice suit to her particular one-man killing spree.
It's true. She didn't look like a gangbanger. No. No. Not what I meant.
Wait, what did you mean?
Don't worry about it, Johnny.
You'll understand when you're older.
I hate that line so much.
Well, you're too young not to use it on you.
And he's
Johnny
like,
is 17, right?
yeah.
So as soon as Cal sees them push Flora back, he's like, okay, that is not how you treat a lady. And he kind of looks in a little bit closer to see if, because if I remember correctly, this is meta game knowledge, she did get her arm ripped off, did she not?
No, she did not get her arm ripped off.
Okay, there was
But
something
she
about her
did,
arm.
there was some damage on her face when she, gotten pushed back and she kind of slid on the floor or on the ground, and it kind of scraped her face. Right?
Yeah,
there was some blood and stuff going on there.
Right.
Can I see through whatever weird shit's going on?
You're seeing really what's happening. Videotape, so physical evidence like this will appear as is.
Okay.
The mist will not work in that particular way, right? So there, you're seeing the exact same thing that everybody else is seeing.
Got it.
It kind of, Cal would kind of lean over his shoulder. T.
Yeah.
Calling for Tremonti. And at the point where it snows out, it's like, is that when you lost sight of her?
I actually wasn't watching her. I was taking care of those two, and he points back to the other screen and the other, those two there. Yeah. I saw that it was done. I thought Megan was going to take care of herself. I walked over, made sure, because they were on the roof. I don't know what the hell's with that, but they were on the roof. I grabbed them. I looked back over. Megan's gone.
So we don't know that someone took her.
Well, maybe if I can clean up the tape, but I'm gonna have to take apart this this thing apart and like clean every like head on it.
So, is it like we see Megan, then it goes to snow, and then she's gone?
That was the image. That was what you saw on the tape. Yes.
How much time elapses between that and the? Because there should be like a time stamp.
It's seconds.
I mean, we've met someone who can move pretty damn fast, Cal.
Wait, is there any other businesses around here?
Quite a few.
Maybe there's another camera that hit an angle.
So you said that she's heading towards the corner. It snows out, and when it comes back in, she's gone. Is she heading back towards the corner at the main street?
She's heading back towards the front side, towards the.
Okay. So it's actually a pretty good idea, Johnny. There could be cameras on this front sidewalk from a different angle.
Was there a car in the shot at all?
Nope.
Okay. He's like, so Johnny just kind of like cleans everything up, and he's like, maybe I can work on a little bit tomorrow, but let's go look. And he just walks out, and he just walks out to like through everything, and like has another plate of food magically all of a sudden, and he's like eating on his way out the door, and then like is like looking for like cameras and all that kind of stuff. So can I do an investigate with the arcade repair and electronics repair again?
For video cameras outside, when you step outside?
Yeah. Let's see, like.
So, okay.
Go
I mean, I can tell you, I can give you a couple of things, and you can tell me where you want to focus your investigation.
Mm-hmm.
So, one, because Xanadu is on a street corner, and there's essentially a four-way light there. There are street cameras, and you can kind of see one that might have an angle on it, but it's at a distance. It's probably a good 100 feet or 150, somewhere between 100 and 150 feet from the location where you suspect she was taken, based on the video that you saw. Across the way,
Okay.
from on the other opposite side of the street, actually is the Fog's Brew, where Gerald was killed, and there definitely would be cameras over there that might point in this direction. I mean, there would be definitely cameras in that business that would be pointing potentially in this direction.
Is that place open?
Oh no, it's closed.
Oh.
It's been closed down since the murder.
Well, hopefully Megan's found a new job.
She just moved to another location.
Different Megan, sorry.
So it's possible that the recordings may still be in there or not. I go across the street and I'm looking inside the building.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking around at if I can see any active alarms or anything like that.
That's definitely going to require an investigate roll of some kind.
Okay. Can I put the repairs with that investigation roll?
Sure.
Okay. So it's a +2 because Cal's not with me. Oh, excuse me. Can I also do Father's Arcade because my father also has security in his arcade and use that?
Yep.
Okay. So he's looking at for the electronics or the alarm system. 7.
So this is an investigate with a power of 3. Okay. So because this is a mild success, there is a slight variation to how this is going to get handled, right?
Okay.
So you get 3 questions to ask. You get you 3 clues. But one of the bullet points is going to come into play. So
okay.
And I'll let you know I'll let you know when that happens if it happens. It's obvious.
Okay. All right. So my first question: what kind of alarm system is it?
It's a high-end alarm system by one of the top alarm companies in the city. It's the kind of thing that people pay good money to have and is not easily circumvented. That would be immediately obvious to you once you figure out that it's like XYZ alarm company.
Okay. Is it currently active or activated?
Yes, it is definitely activated.
And then my follow-up question, can I locate the power grid it's associated to?
Yes, it would be in the alley.
Okay.
Ooh, but would turning off the power activate the alarm?
It would reset the alarm, but it would give us a longer window if you turn it off and turn it back on.
GM, I have a question. MC, sir.
Don't call me sir. I'm not your father.
You could be his dad.
No, don't go there.
Nope.
Don't go there.
Nope.
Nope.
A master of ceremonies, if I may. Can I break this lock? Not break, but can I crack this security system with a good roll? Would my power tags apply?
This is one of those. I'm going to throw you back to Blades in the Dark. You describe it in a way, and I'll let you roll it.
All right.
But I guarantee you that it's.
Is Gio out there with me?
I assumed
that's a
we
good
had
question.
followed you, but
I mean, if he did follow me, if he didn't, I don't know. Johnny just kind of beelined it.
yeah, I would have followed you. I don't trust Johnny to go off anywhere alone.
So yeah, you totally would have seen him looking in the window and looking around, and then he's like, huh, and then you just see him kind of wander off to the alley, and he's like, huh, and then kind of slowly start walking into the alley.
Cal was following because he was going to put some of the really nice horseradish on the roast beef that he's eating, but then he walked outside with it, so Cal just took it back to the barn.
And that's how he magically got a horseradish roast beef sandwich. And he's like,
Horseradish roast beef sandwich.
Yeah, he put horseradish on roast beef.
Just go with it.
I'm not a fan of pork. Anyways, go on. So, Yeah, if you want to describe me how you're going to break into this incredibly high-end alarm system, potentially with the help of Johnny, or vice versa, Johnny turning off the power and you helping him do that, I'd love to hear that description, and then we can talk about a move that it applies to.
I mean, yeah, if Johnny wants to turn off the power for the system, I think it would be fairly easy for Gio to get us in.
The only thing Johnny wants to look at is what is this building only this building? Is it only the coffee shop, or is there other things associated with it?
For the power?
Yeah.
Oh no, the power would be for the entire block. Like there would be power kind of running into the shop, but there's clearly like there's a transformer that kind of powers the entire block.
Yeah, my plan is to cut off the power to what that's leading into the power, what's feeding the power to this. So I'm like finding that connection and making sure that like it's not going to affect anyone else like living, or like if anyone's in apartments and associated with that, and kind of be like,
no, it's mostly businesses.
But is it just that business it's associated to?
So there would be one power line running directly to that business that you could cut. Yes. Okay,
and that's what the power would be associated with the the alarm. All right, so you see Johnny, and he just kind of goes, all right, hold on, and he like kind of like, how high up is it?
Probably a good 20 feet off the ground, but with your strength, I'm sure that you'll just easily be able to jump up and grab it.
So yeah, I want to jump up and grab it, but I don't want to pull it from the building side. I want to pull the cable from the transformer side to us.
Okay.
Because I don't want a live cable on the road. So like, I'm going to like jump up, like put my fist in the side of the building and like hold myself there and go, ah! And just take the power out to the building.
Okay, so given that there's a fair bit of silliness that could happen to this, is this a take a risk? Is this a change the game?
I think this is a change the game. I'm trying to give Geo advantage.
Okay.
So I'm going to use impressive invulnerability and inhuman strength with this. Is Cal out here, by the way?
Not yet.
Okay. Yeah.
Putting the horseradish back.
Okay, let's see. So this has changed the game at a +3.
You got it.
10?
10 works. So let's see. You get a minimum of 2 juice. So you get 4 juice altogether, it looks like. You can do 1-to-1. You can spend a 1-to-1 on the power tags above and below the 10 plus. So go to town. Let me know what you want to do.
Okay. Okay, I want to prolong the effect. So I'm going to spend 1 juice prolonging the effect of the alarm not getting kicked on by backup power supply.
Okay.
And I want to hide the effect, so no one really notices. No one really notices that this business is like no lights are on, right? Because they were off from the get go.
Yes,
this place has been closed for a while.
Yeah, obviously from the police line, it's still kind of like.
So create a story tag. What's that mean?
So that means it's an element that you can. Okay. It is an element of like the environment, or the larger situation that you're in, that can work as a status effect, or it can work as a benefit to you all. So not tripping the alarm, or not setting off the alarm, that would be a story tag.
Okay, so yeah, that would be untrippable alarm.
Untrippable alarm.
Yeah, that's a story tag I'm going to make.
Okay.
And so I get 1. What's greater area, more targets?
And that's going to be that. So the prolonged effect will be on untrippable alarm. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm seeing what other. I think the other thing I want to.
So you have 2, just to be very clear, because you've already spent 2. You've got 2 more.
I got 2 more. Oh God.
Yeah.
For 2 juice.
Yeah. Because you rolled a 10.
Yeah.
You get a minimum of 2, and so the additional 2 power. So it's like instead of getting a minimum of 1 by succeeding, you get a minimum of 2. And then you because that's the first power tag, and then you get 2 more because you spent a total of 3 of power tags.
I'm gonna say that the electrical surge around this area also makes it so like the street lamp is out in the vicinity, so it's dark now.
Mm-hmm. Also, while Johnny's doing this, Gio's taken a compact mirror out, and he's basically using it to reflect the streetlight into the camera so that none of this is seen while it's happening.
To which camera?
The one at the coffee shop. We're turning off the security system for this right now, but the camera's been going this whole time, right?
The camera inside?
Yeah, or whatever the camera that's looking outside. Whatever camera would see me and Johnny doing this.
There isn't a camera on the backside right now.
Yeah. Okay, never mind then.
Mm-hmm.
So the only camera that I described was there was potentially cameras inside that could be pointing that direction, and then there was the street camera, but you guys are in an alley.
Got it. It's fine. Okay. Never mind.
Okay.
Okay.
What? So I have 1 juice left, right?
You do have 1 juice left. Yeah.
So so if I hang on to a juice, what's that mean?
You can use it later as another effect, or you can add it as a power tag.
Okay, I'm gonna hang on to 1 juice.
Okay, go ahead and just make sure you track that.
I'm writing it down right now.
No, you're not. Lies. Okay, and so the power is now officially out to that building. And so, what happens next?
I mean, like what Johnny does is that he takes up the cable and he just like kind of, so this is kind of the weird thing. He like gets one end of the cable and he's like spooling it up like a sailor would spool up a mooring line, or the line with the monkey fist, and he's like spooling it up and then like tying it up and then putting it up safely out of the range of everyone.
Okay. Was he a Boy Scout?
No.
He seems to be a very thoughtful individual.
That's just the way Johnny is. Johnny's very thoughtful about people.
Okay.
He cares about people. He's only doing this because this will help someone.
Okay.
So it's not like he's trying to be malicious or like get money out of it. He's trying to find Miss Phoebe, which in finding Miss Megan will also find the other sister. He can't remember her name, even though he doesn't remember if he heard it or not. He might have been eating too loud. So yeah, that's what he's doing. So that's why, and then he's giving Gio the ability to break it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So whatever Gio's doing, do you want me to make a roll for it?
Well, I want you to describe it first.
All right. Well, I mean, at this point, the power's out, so not really worried about the security system. Gio just kind of sidles up to the door, and with his hand on the handle, in a second, it clicks open.
Roll it.
Cool. So, Master of Locks, Tricks of the Trade.
And is this a change the game then? Is that what I'm understanding?
I kind of think it would be a sneak around.
Okay, fair enough.
And could I throw in bartender because I'm going into kind of business establishment?
No.
I closed the
bartender
shop
applies in
before.
social situations. I think we talked about.
Yeah, it makes sense. All right.
Well, Calvin's just walked outside, so he's coming over.
Well,
You see Johnny like
there,
scaling
then get
down a
entourage.
building.
Cool. So throw in one for entourage. Boop. 9.
Wild
Rolling
success.
straight 9s today.
All right. Okay. So it's complicated, but you do get inside.
Okay.
Do you walk inside?
Yeah, I walk inside.
Okay. We're gonna cut to Morrigan on the phone. Who are you talking to, Morgan?
I called Roth.
Are you okay? Why are you calling me? Are you okay?
I'm fine. I just need some information.
Okay. Are you working the case still? It's almost
Sorta.
2:00 in the morning.
Yeah, you know how I am. I can't let it go.
You hear a heavy, deep sigh. Don't do this. Don't. Okay. What do you need?
Where did you end up with, or do you know who ended up with the case with Harold's death? Gerald's death. Who was it? Gerald, right?
Gerald Walker.
Gerald Walker.
I said Harold, and then I was like, nope, that's the wrong person.
No, that's Harold Bjorn you're thinking of.
Gerald's death. Gerald
Henry
Walker.
He. Hey. I don't. Hold on a second. Let me consult my notes, and you hear the flipping of some pages. And he kind of flips through. It says, that was Catherine Devereaux's case. I've got to call into her, and she hasn't called me back yet. My understanding is that she was at the public library looking into Alexis's disappearance. I believe she's still on scene, as they found some really unusual things going on. Yeah, I'm supposed to talk to her about Gerald Walker's death, due to the fact that they're related to the Walker Foundation.
Do you have access to any of her notes?
No, you know me. I'm a what do they call them? I rely on pen and paper. I don't have a PDA. I mean, I do send texts, but so I don't have access to the files here. I mean, I can make a phone call if you really want. I mean, we're getting some interesting things here at the mansion, but
What happened with the security tapes at the mansion?
As far as we can tell, when she headed outside into the maze, it appears that a couple of the servers stepped out as well, ditched their clothes around the corner from the kitchen, and then headed into the maze. And then that's where we kind of lose them. We've got a description on all three of them, out, and we think that one of them may be Manny, is his name, I think. That you are with the skulls. His father runs the mortuary in the blue collar neighborhood. He rattles off a name for the mortuary or funeral home. I've run into him a couple of times in investigation. Seems like a really stand up kind of guy. Just a business owner. His son seems to be just in trouble all the time.
So could you bring Manny in?
Not right this second. I'm sure that we can arrange that to happen.
Let's do that.
Does that mean you're coming back to the mansion, or am I meeting you someplace?
You can meet at the precinct.
Okay. Well, it's almost 2 now. Let's say 2:30.
Sure, that works for me.
All right.
Okay.
Well, take care of yourself until then. Be careful, because this night's just getting weirder and weirder.
You're telling me. All right, you be safe too.
All right. Click.
Shit.
Sorry, I muted myself. I was going to say we're going to cut back to Geo stepping inside the coffee shop.
Yeah, Geo, slides his way in, holds the door open for Johnny to follow. And Cal.
Yeah.
This is it. We're going in the back door, so first thing we would see is we'd be stepping into like the kitchen area, and right off to the side is where Mr. Walker died.
Is it haunted?
You would see a bunch of floodlights that are set up that are all kind of dark, and that room would be dark as you step in. The kitchen looks in the same disarray that it was left in the day that it happened, right? And there are some circles or marks around where there looks like places for evidence, and you see a couple of different spots where you see some dust, sort of like put there as like if somebody's like dusting for prints kind of a thing.
It still smells.
This is different. And he grabs a bunch of napkins, and it's just like,
Wait, are we criminals now?
of course we are.
Oh,
It's just breaking and entering right now.
Nothing too bad.
No, it's the CSI. When they clean up, just the chemicals are really strong.
no. Okay, hold on. Let me go see if I can find the recording stuff. And Johnny just walks off looking in like different rooms and stuff like that.
So as we described it from the one shot, there's the kitchen. Off to the side is the storage room where Jared Walker was killed. Back towards the front of the kitchen is where it leads out into the main area proper. Where there's like that sort of like the dining area, and there's like the counter. If you walk back around the counter towards there's another hallway which leads to a couple of bathrooms, and there is an office off of that eventually that you would find. And the door is of course open because the entire business is locked. All over the place, you again see marks of a CSI investigation where they've got various pieces kind of laid out. There's tape across the front of the store, on the doorway. It's like a police tape kind of a thing. And inside the office, you find it, pretty sparse, other than like a computer. And it's clearly that it's hooked up to the video feeds. And as you're kind of looking around the office or the building, Johnny, as all of you are kind of taking this in, you do realize that there is one camera that's kind of pointed at an angle, and it may be kind of sort of, but you're going to have to see the video to actually see what's happening.
Okay, so there's a computer. That's where all the videos look like it was stored on.
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
Okay, I'm taking the computer.
The whole thing? You want to just take a hard drive?
How big's the computer?
It's the average tower size. I mean, it's probably your average small Dell tower.
You're strong.
Yeah, I'm taking the cables associated with it and I'm plugging it and going, all right, and like bringing everything in. I was like, okay, that's all we needed. Wait, and he grabs a monitor too, and the monitor cables. He's like, okay, now I got everything I needed.
Breaking and entering and theft.
What? No. This is
and disturbing a crime scene, by the way.
While Johnny's doing this, Gio walked into the storage room, and is just trying to get a better look around, because we never really saw too much of it other than at a glance.
Well, do you turn on the floodlights?
Can we? The power's out.
You can try. I mean, the room is really dark, so the power is out to that building. So,
and they would have their own power packs.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. I'll turn on the floodlights.
So the first one you flip on actually is a black light.
Oh.
And you see the room illuminated in that sort of weird purplish kind of a light, and you see various splotches of white where there's clearly evidence of bodily fluids or blood, kind of splattered all over the place. And you see on the ground there's an outline as he was kind of leaned against the wall, and you can see the outline sort of crawl up, the join between the floor and the wall, and it kind of crawls up, kind of around the shape and back down. And you can see that there's a pool of blood sort of at the center where his rear would have been. The body has been removed. Looks like all the clothes and the evidence has been removed. But one of the things that you do see as you kind of begin to look a little closer is that in some of the splatter of blood, there appears to be little lines or something like right there. And so you can walk over and you flip the other switch on, and those are claw marks.
Your girlfriend sure knows how to make mezcal.
Johnny is just walking out the door. He's leaving. He's like, oh. He looks like a nervous wreck right now. He's like sweating, and he's like, oh.
Gio's gonna grab a bag of coffee before he leaves. Haven't had a good one since we left. Italian espresso.
Okay. All right.
So
you all step outside.
Place closed. Yeah, step outside.
Morrigan's there, like leaning on her car, waiting for you guys.
Hi.
Oh, I see you found a computer.
Yeah,
a computer.
You can put it in the car.
We'll return it later.
They're not gonna care.
It might help us find missing person, Megan.
That's a great idea, Johnny.
Oh, thank you.
The trunk pops open. She just gets into the driver's seat.
I start putting things in the trunk. What's everyone else doing?
You found this pretty easy. Where do you think we're going?
Well, I'm taking you guys to my office since that's the only place you're going to be able to deal with that computer safely. And then I'm meeting with the detective at the precinct.
Okay. You don't want us to come along with that, I assume.
I mean, you can, but at least somebody has to stay with Johnny.
Good point.
Unless he wants to stay by himself, I guess.
Nah, I'm good.
I don't know. Can I sleep at your office?
Sure.
Is there food there?
a really comfortable couch there, yeah.
Okay, I can sleep anywhere.
Works well enough for me. And what do you plan on having a conversation with this detective about?
I'm going to find out more information about Mr. Walker's death. And hopefully we'll see Manny there.
Manny?
I had him bring him in.
All right. I mean, that's good.
Easier for him to come to us than us to go to them.
Does Johnny remember the name Manny? Didn't that one dude say something about Manny?
That's correct.
Okay. Who was talking about Manny?
Well, the detective said that Manny...
Not the detective.
What are you talking about?
The other guys in the storage room.
What?
The other skulls.
Oh, at the gala?
Yeah.
Yes, they were talking about Manny as well. So we've heard his name a few times now.
Okay.
What exactly are you expecting to learn about the Walker case?
Some kind of connection, and if not, the best we get at that point is just to have a conversation with Manny.
Okay. Just
I mean,
to make sure.
You know Manny, right?
I mean, I met him yesterday now, but
Okay.
not particularly well.
Is this quick question? Is this conversation happening as you guys are beginning to drive away?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Are we in the car?
Yeah, I'd say so.
talk. Like
Okay.
putting stuff away. And is Cal in the car?
I don't know. Cal's been silent the whole time.
Cal is debating going home. Yeah, Cal's in the car,
Okay.
front seat,
Fair.
because there's not enough room in the floorboard for his hooves in the back.
Just to clarify, and Cal, you can back me up on this, but I'm sure it's what you're thinking too. You're not planning on, I don't know, revealing any connections or anything like that?
Regarding what?
Cal mentioned the deal that he has going on.
No.
First,
No, we can circumvent that and deal with her directly. I don't want any of the police getting involved with that. They'll probably get killed anyway.
you're right, but I don't think you're the kind to care that much about the lives of cops, honestly.
Some of them.
Yeah, some of them. Listen, I don't know what kind of relationship you and that detective have going on, but personally, I know I can't speak to Cal on this one, but I'm not really that interested in getting screwed by the cops.
Then don't come along.
I won't.
All right. That's easy
And
enough.
leave me out of it.
Well, I don't think any of us want to like get in trouble with the cops. I'll be grounded for a while. Well, at least
That's why you're going to my office, and if you want to hang out with that computer, you're welcome to. You cannot take that computer home. You do realize that, right?
how would I explain how I got a computer?
Same way you
Exactly.
explain it to to the cops and why it's in your possession.
That's why he's not bringing it with us.
If they find him with it, I mean.
Right.
How long is that power gonna be out, Johnny? You figure?
To the building
Yeah.
till someone fixes it.
Okay. We should try and fix that by morning. Well, not fix the power, but bring back the computer if...
Hold on.
Do we really need the whole computer? Can't you just take the hard drives or something?
You have a computer
Well-
at your place?
Yeah, I have
Then yeah, maybe just
a
take the hard
variety of
drive.
equipment at my house, my office.
We didn't have time to think. There's so much going in through all of our heads at that time. I mean, like, what if the cop showed up, and then like, what if like a dog man showed up, and he's like, "I do our computer," and I'm like, I can't handle that. That's just too much pressure.
That's okay, Johnny. It's okay. So, do we need to bring back the computer afterward, or can we take the hard drive out?
No, we just.
Listen,
How about
we're
this?
I
already-
mean, we
Get to
have
my
the
office.
computer.
We'll get to my office. You'll take the hard drive out. Gio will bring it back on his way home.
Sure. Sounds
Okay.
good enough, I guess.
Okay. Great. Well, then I guess we're going to arrive at my office at some point.
So as you were pulling away, that conversation was happening. You did notice that there was a couple of individuals dressed in jean jackets or jean vests kind of loitering around towards the alley, kind of looking around. They didn't see you. You kind of noticed them and just kind of moved on, but you noticed that they were kind of sniffing around, literally, the alley.
Got it.
Fucking beast, man.
And so you arrive at at Morrigan's office.
Mm-hmm. My office is at the very top level of a high rise. And when you get up to the door, it says Ives Therapy, and there's these large double doors with kind of a frosted glass at the top areas of it. And there's not a traditional lock. It looks like it's a biometric lock at the front of it. And so when she goes to like open the door, you kind of hear this strange little buzz and then the unlock sound.
Do you live in a science fiction book?
No, I just like to keep myself safe and my client information safe.
Nice roost.
Thank you. Inside is I know what you were going for there. She's going to try to not. Just gonna. Inside, you see a well clean and kept large room. The walls are not decorated too much outside of the traditional kind of relaxing art, landscapes and ocean and that kind of thing to help with clients that are having a tough time. There's a very large, comfortable looking couch that's farther out where her desk is, and her desk is actually towards the middle of the room but set backward so that her back is towards the glass, which the entire corner area there is floor to ceiling glass, so it's like a panoramic view of the city. And other than that, it's just it's again very clean office. Not a lot of personal effects of Morrigan's. There's no pictures or anything like that.
Johnny just finds a place to like plug in the computer and put the monitor on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
And like takes like he finds like a mouse and keyboard from like somewhere else and like plugs it in, and it's just like sitting there like going through the computer.
Okay.
I'm Batman.
You're not Batman, Johnny, but you're doing good. Keep it up.
Is this a montage moment?
I think this is an appropriate montage moment.
Doing a montage.
Does that mean
fucking montage?
Does that mean Morrigan is going to leave them in her office while she moves on to go speak with Derek?
Well, Gio said he was leaving, and I don't know what I don't know what Cal had decided since he was kind of on the fence about everything.
That's about to resolve right now.
Okay.
Do you want me to go with you?
I could use the company.
All right.
Is Gio still planning on going back to his place?
Yeah, Gio will. I mean, he'll stay with Johnny to. Well, no, he'll head back.
Okay. Also, Morgan mentions to Johnny, there's a kitchen. There's not a lot of food, but you're welcome to it, as well as water. There's no soda, so don't go looking for it. And then the bathroom's over here.
Well, I like water. Okay. I still have food from the other place. And he opens a backpack and there's a bunch of like food mixed in together where it looks like a weird concoction. And he's like,
Garbage disposal.
Yep. That's disgusting. All right.
You're muted, Johnny.
I'm grossed out too.
Let me describe the acid burns.
Oh, please don't.
Okay, so Morgan and Cal leave. Gio goes off and does hangs out with Johnny. So say what?
It sounded like you were forgetting what his name was, so I was trying to remind you. His name is Johnny.
It's pretty
easy. It's not the
actually.
proper spelling of Johnny. Let's be completely honest.
What?
All right, so we're going to do the montage for Johnny.
All right.
So this is the first time you guys have done a montage. They did a montage last night on Wednesday show. So with that in mind, the way it works basically is you have to describe to me what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. And you can ask me some questions or you can do some other things based on that, right? You can give attention, you can work the case, you can explore your mythos, you can prepare for your next activity, or you can recover from your last activity. Which do you want to do?
I'm going to work the case because none of the other ones really apply.
Preparing for your next activity could be, also there as well. I think that's the only two that really seem to make sense here, but investigate seems probably the more appropriate given this circumstance.
Mm-hmm. Oh, before Gio leaves, he like switch out to the hard drive on the computers. And he's like very delicate with it, and he's making sure he's not creating any static electricity. And he's making sure Morrigan's computer is not plugged into anything.
Okay.
And he's gonna make sure it works before he gives Gio the old tower. And and if everything works and greatly, he's going to be like, all right, I'm just gonna be here going through video, and then just what he's going to do is he's gonna take a couple of weeks beforehand, because it's like 2:00 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So he's gonna fast forward through the videos, and he's gonna look to see if there's familiar faces, or what kind of angle he can see across the street, and where he can see up to. Does he see up all the way to the point where Johnny shut off the power, or does he see at least to the event of Megan getting taken?
No, you there's the full history of the last essentially 2 months.
Okay, so then if he has 2 months of data to go through, Johnny's going to be like, what would Magnum PI do? And then he would go through the video and watch for Magnum PI wouldn't do this, but he's
You sure it's not a MacGyver moment?
No,
there aren't enough potatoes.
No. I have a stick of gum, a paper clip, in this fully functioning nuclear reactor. I'm going to make a blender. So he's going to go through the video and notice to see if he recognizes faces repeatedly casing the place. See when Megan goes there. See if the same people when Megan shows up there, a certain car shows up every time she shows up, or if other people show up.
Okay.
And,
see Calvin about twice a week.
And then Megan, the disappearance of Megan. He wants to see what happened with the disappearance of Megan.
Okay, so let's form those into three questions specifically. One, you want to know if you can see across the street towards Xanadu.
Yeah.
All right. The answer is no, but you can get a good view of the street to what you see as the curb, but it's just out of angle.
Okay.
But you can see traffic going back and forth. You just can't see Xanadu itself, right? It's just the way that the angle is. It's sort of like one of those fisheye lenses, but the look is just, it encompasses all of the street, but you don't actually see Xanadu itself, right? You don't see that sidewalk.
Okay.
Your second question, I believe, was you wanted to see if there's anybody casing the joint, or if there's anything familiar kind of going on as you're kind of digging in and looking, right? Yeah. You're looking for regulars in a lot of ways.
More so if I can see when Megan shows up, which I don't know who Megan is, honestly. So it would have to be.
You would know her if you watch the news or you watch anything else occasionally, because she is the spokesperson for Pandora's Delights, which is the refreshment company, the food and drink company. That,
so it's totally the news on my phone. It would have came up.
That's the only news you follow is the things about food.
Food and drink companies, yeah.
Yeah. And missing people. Food, drinks, missing people. Huh?
Is Johnny a secret reader of Cal's column?
Yeah.
It's possible. No, actually, I would imagine that Johnny doesn't care so much about fine food, but just food.
Yeah.
But
this guy,
where you can find
sounds delicious. Quantities. I wish I had 20 of them.
Right.
But it is a food and beverage company that has a pretty girl in it, and so yes, I imagine.
I imagine Johnny eats a lot of Pandora products, so he may know something Pandora blah blah missing. I was like, oh, that's
in the box, girl. And all the bad shit comes out. Yeah, it's great.
So he if he would know who he's looking for, so he would look the tape for her to see if anyone, the same people showed up when she showed up.
Okay, so no, you don't see anything like that.
Okay.
You do see a limo drive up occasionally, and she gets out. There's nobody around at the same time that she does. It's interesting because this is around the corner from the entrance of Xanadu, but you occasionally see her limo drive up and it kind of opens, and this happens infrequently, but it happens at least 3 times.
Is there anyone in the limo that I can see?
No, it's just her and then the driver. So
okay. Then the other clue I'm trying to get is she what happened that night? What can I see from that night?
So you see that the street it's on a busy street, so there was a lot of traffic. But as you get closer and closer to the time at which she disappeared, traffic sort of dies down, and there's occasionally a car, right? And so I'll say that you know with your phone you basically took a snapshot of the timestamp as when the video went kind of snowy, right? And so you're getting closer to that, and you're just kind of it's building to anticipation. You're kind of looking at it, and you're looking away, and you're looking at it, and you're looking at your phone to verify the timestamp. And for a brief second, you just kind of look away, and then you look back, to verify it's the same timestamp, and there she is running across the street, stepping in front of Fog's Brew, kind of looking around, and then a car pulls up and picks her up, and they take off.
Do I see anyone in the car?
You don't see the driver of the car, but you do see the type of vehicle that it is.
Now, when you say picks her up, do you mean it pulls up and she opens the door and gets in? Or, okay.
That's correct.
Okay.
And she was running.
She was running across the street.
Was she when she was running like running away from someone, or was she running like I'm hailing someone down?
No, she was not hailing anybody. She was aggressively running across the street, almost moving a little too fast. But she got across the street pretty quickly, and then sort of stepped, was like kind of waiting there, was just kind of looking around, and then the car pulled up.
Okay. Johnny's like, and is there anything I can see about the car? What kind of car is it, first of all?
It is a sports car, very much like the Tesla with the Lotus body.
Tesla with the Lotus body.
Think about that type of car. I mean, I would start doing sort of vague things like in GTA 5 where it's a Tesla but not a Tesla kind of a thing, right? I mean,
Tesla type car.
A Tesla type car.
Okay. Can I see the license plates?
No, you can't. Not on that screen, but you can get some pretty good details. The car is definitely high end. It's had some, what I would say, modifications to it. Right? It looks like it's been.
It's a decent car.
It is the top of the line for that type of car.
And I can't see the driver.
No, you can't.
Tinted windows then.
No, but just the angle, you can only see her getting into the car. You can't really see into the car itself.
Okay. I want to go through the tapes then. Is there and see if that car shows up ever again?
Upon your review of the tapes, no.
Okay. So I got a Tesla type car. She willingly gets in. No one forces her.
Nope.
And then Johnny is like, "Oh, I should call him." And oh, fuck! I didn't get their numbers.
And that's where we're going to cut to Morrigan and Cal showing up at the police station. And as you're kind of walking in, there's a flurry of activity because the downtown district or the downtown precinct is abuzz with all three disappearances.
Fair enough. I look for Roth.
He is at his desk in the in essentially the war room that is where the homicide and all the detectives who work special cases.
Okay,
and he sees you and he kind of waves you over.
Okay. Yeah. So it's very busy here.
What do you expect? We got 3 disappearances tonight.
And a murder. Walker.
Well, that was 3 weeks ago. We're working just the case tonight. We're missing persons 48 hours before things start to get cold. So
yeah,
that's our focus right now. And he kind of he's looking at you like, come on. I mean, this is the murder. The murder isn't as important, and he's showing a little bit of impatience with you.
I think that there's some connection. That's why I'm even digging in this area.
Wait a second. What makes you think that they're connected? I mean, other than Gerald Walker and the Walker Foundation and the Walker Foundation, I mean, I could see that's circumstantial. I'm not seeing the connection yet.
Have you found Manny?
No, the squad car's out there right now. I'm expecting a call any second. And that's when you hear a hold on. And he picks up the radio. Go for Roth. And he listens. And as you're watching, his eyes get bigger and bigger. You're kidding. No, all right. I'll be right there. And he puts it down. There's apparently a gang war going on right now in front of the funeral home.
Oh my God. Okay.
And that's where we're going to end it.
Race war! Race war!
More like Pirates versus Lost Boys, but sure.
Yeah, that's much more accurate, given how that started.
Uh-huh.
And it was at that moment that everyone watching the Wednesday night show was like, oh, now we know who he is.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Captain Malcolm.
Captain
God
Malcolm
damn
to
it,
save
Mike.
the day.
All right, awesome. Fuck. Damn it. Screw you, Mike, and your gang wars.
You fucked up our game, okay?
No, he didn't. I think that you guys made the script. Well, I won't say that.
Oh, come on. You can't do that.
Yeah.
What? What did we do?
We did what?
Nothing.
Broke into
Come on.
a crime scene.
I'm going to start making all my scenes more gory then if you don't tell us.
Oh, really? You're gonna pull that?
That
shit,
doesn't
huh?
sound
Now
like a
we're going to get
punishment.
a competition with Ginge.
Are you sure your name isn't Lauren? I mean, I've got 2 Laurens on 2 other shows. Do you want to change your name and cause me grief too? Because both of them cause me grief.
Nah.
And man, it's a doozy.
Isn't it a doozy?
What a doozy.
And I would chastise you for it, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't do that. He's a minor still.
Right.
Who? Malcolm?
No, Johnny.
Oh, yes.
I was just gonna say-
Well, no, technically 17 is the age of consent, right?
No.
Nope. 18.
I mean, different states.
Most states.
Mostly 18.
I don't know what
Yeah.
mythical
In the
state we're
US.
living in.
I don't know what mythical city we're living in, but hey. Anyways,
You might have to reconsider some things you've done.
I guess this is set now. The age of consent is 18 in the city of
in
Metropolis.
Metropolis. Let's hope that Johnny never has a birthday.
or hooks up with Malcolm.
I'm on 17, going on 18.
Hang on, let me fantasize about that for a minute.
No.
God.
No. Both minors. Double illegal.
No, technically Malcolm is 19.
Double illegal for Calvin to fantasize about it.
Fantasize about it. It's illegal to act on it.
To watch, whatever. Anyways. Calvin shifts mouth.
I included a fun fact about crows today in our session. It's educational, okay? There you go.
It's true, you did.
They have a roost.
60
Johnny
miles per
said-
hour.
Johnny
60
saying
miles
out
per
your
hour.
business.
It's terrifying. I'm just going to put that out there.
Yeah.
Crow coming at
60
you.
miles an hour is
Terrifying
not
shit.
terrifying. It's the most scariest thing I've ever seen. No, I don't want to ever see that again. No.
Yeah, and it's usually in a murder. So, you know where that's going.
Oh, there's a murder of crows out there, don't you know?
Where are the rest of the Morrigans?
Don't you want to know? All right.
All right.
100% that if anyone ever does art of Malcolm and Johnny.
Not.
Send it to Trendane. If anybody ever does art of Malcolm and Johnny, please send it to Trendane.
You don't want that on your computer.
No. I don't even want it in my search history.
You know what? No, it has to be the scene from Hook where they're all eating imaginary food.
Right, and Johnny is the table. And then eating food off of it. And flinging glops of just...
Oh my God! Well, Speedy, I think you better save us out of this.
Everyone else tell me where you come from and what you thought of tonight, except for that last 5 minutes. Meta, start.
No pressure. Okay. I murdered
I
somebody
feel like
today,
I can trust
so
you.
take your mind away from the loot and bring it to the gruesome horror.
Right.
There you go. No, it was good. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do that actually out of character. I wasn't sure if I wanted to go that far. But then I reconsidered the fact that one of the key parts of Morrigan is that no man deserves mercy. So, kind of had to be done.
Mm-hmm.
So
It
that's
really surprised the shit out of me.
I know. That was the
Took my
point.
breath away. Let's be completely honest.
There's quite a few of us who were like, "What the fuck?"
Let's just put it this way:
world.
if you guys don't take care of somebody, Morrigan will. So bear that in mind.
And
But yeah.
Calvin figured he had. So,
Yeah. But yeah, I'm Metamancer. I also GM games and do digital art. So thanks for putting up with our craziness and watching the show because it's awesome and fun and I love it.
Awesome. Yeah. I'll put a cast.
Wait a minute. Before we go on, I just want to point out that there are two women who have caused some serious havoc, and they continue to be playing these evil sort of like motives. They're very anti-hero in a system that's really designed for heroes.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of love it. It's awesome.
But she thinks she's a hero. She thinks she's doing the right thing. She
Oh,
has to
no.
cleanse the world. She's the judge, jury, and executioner. Like, hello.
No, I love the choice. I love the idea that there are different sets of morality, and that this is one of those sets of morality kind of playing itself out. The framework of the game gives you that sort of leeway to do that. It's interesting because we had originally propositioned this as we wanted to step away from the dark, and the dark just keeps coming back in, and it's beautiful and it's gruesome and it's
Yeah.
I swear Johnny is probably the most good character out of this group.
Yeah.
between you and JP, there's a competition of the do-gooder aspect. So I'm very curious to
And
see
they're
how
both
that plays
super
out.
strong, which I find funny.
now
Also,
you know how
Malcolm-
Hocus felt.
I think Malcolm has that aspect too, where he's very childlike wonder and imaginative, but children can also be very cruel at the same time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mal isn't good. He's chaotic neutral.
Yeah,
There are some fun things that I hope Mike brings in from Malcolm's backstory because they are incredibly dark, and I would love to see some of that because Malcolm is not just a child.
Mhm.
yeah. But I would also say I like to say Meta got the what the fuck moment tonight. So
No, she got the first what the fuck moment of the series. Let's be completely honest.
yeah.
Because I did not expect that at all. Congratulations, Meta. You had me breathless. I didn't know what the fuck was going on for just a second. It was
Thank
it
you.
was amazing.
Trendane.
No.
Tell us things. Not
really?
that kind of thing.
Okay. Let's be clear here. So my name is Trent Sparks. I'm a professional voice actor, personage thing, sort of doohickey. You can either find me here on this channel doing this thing, or on, I believe it's Saturday, we're doing D&D 5th edition. We're returning to the Rise of Tiamat, where I will be reprising my role of a human druid named Fifely Harper. And then on the occasional Tuesday, we do the, also over on Arvin Eleron's channel, we do the Adventures in Middle-earth, which is basically D&D 5th edition, but set in the Tolkien universe. So it's the very low magic kind of thing, because nobody's casting freaky spells all over the place and whatnot. It's very, very cool, and it's all in the Tolkien. It takes place between The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. It's very neat.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. Go follow Trendane. Go follow Arvin.
Yeah. Follow me on Twitter. I tweet out whenever we're going to be doing stuff. So.
Yeah. And Loke.
Hi.
Hi. Hey.
My name's McLoken. You guys can find me at twitch.tv/McLoken. I stream from time to time. I got Secret of Mana, so I'm going to be playing that game and reliving my childhood through that. But I also
3 weeks ago. Sorry,
did it come out 3 weeks ago?
No, your childhood was 3 weeks ago. Carry on. Go.
Yeah. So I also do a campaign called Chosen on Wednesdays that I DM, and I have 4 lovely people in my cast. I have do this on Thursdays, which is a super fun campaign that I love playing, and I love playing Johnny with the voice of an angel. And then I do Meta's campaign of Call of Cthulhu Reveries on Sundays, where I play Sergeant Buddy Fisher, and he just talks out his ass a lot, but people just keep going. So yeah, it's poopy words. But yeah, that's where you guys can find me. I just want to thank you guys for having me on the show. I know I came in at last minute, but I've been having a super lot of fun. So
It's an important
I
part.
love it. I love it. I love it because there's so today was a story. This is the one shot that you guys, the coffee shop was the one shot, and we got to tie that in. And so Johnny has no idea what's going on most of the time. But my character doesn't know what the fuck is going on because I didn't see the one shot. So I'm trying to piece everything together, and I'm very interested. I'm what happened in the coffee shop? What fucking happened?
What's in the box?
Yeah,
Gerald died.
That's what I got, full of the bodily fluids room storage area. But yeah, I had fun testing out Johnny's capabilities, such as breaking power cables and jumping from roof to roof, which he didn't know he could do before,
and fixing VCRs.
He has to fix a VCR now.
Broke a VCR.
He will have to fix that VCR. But yeah, that's his reason to go back to Xanadu, though, to go get components and then see what he can do for it. So yes. And the roast beef. More roast beef, please.
Excellent. All right. The real Johnny, Video Store Cowboy. Why don't you tell us about yourself and about this crazy little thing we do?
Johnny, Video Store Cowboy is my channel. Been GM for 6 and 20. We do this little crazy thing called 6 and 20 Metropolis, where we do it across 3 channels: Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night. Tuesday night is on my channel. So we've got one crew. Wednesday night is another crew on Unmade Gaming, and then tonight's crew, and it all takes place in the same setting, in the same world and has been alluded to. There are just some crazy things that have happened that really tie closely together. There is a one shot of a all new side story going on this weekend on Unmade's channel for his 12-hour stream. Completely, new characters kind of in this particular setting, and will be a tangential story to what's going on for the players right now in all 3 games. Other than that,
are you having fun with that?
Am I having fun with the tangential story?
Yeah, with how everything is all connected all of the time.
So in this particular case, this is going to be unique because the last time when we were doing 6 and 20 in Blaze in the Dark, it was always tied in directly in some way, shape, or form directly to the storyline with characters from the games, right? From our 3 shows. Mm-hmm. In this particular case, we're doing the one shot and allowing some new people to kind of jump into the world, specifically because we're so new into this new setting, right? That we don't really have the crews kind of completely together, and so you have having solved their first case, and they're the cross-pollination. There's a bunch of that cross-pollination going on. But this is really just an opportunity to allow some other people kind of to explore our insanity. So yeah, that should be
so hot.
And that's where I'm going to exit. I just want to say that the one shot's going to be at 4 p.m. Eastern, and it's the charity stream starts at 10 a.m. Eastern and goes till 10 p.m. I believe. And then there's another announcement coming out tomorrow over on Arv's channel. That you might want to pay attention to as well. So
awesome.
And that's it.
Yeah, thank you, Johnny. Thank you for being an awesome DM. Thank all of you for coming out here and playing as well. It was a really great session. I'm glad that we had it.
Gio got to pick a lock.
I picked a lock. And I did some crazy acrobatic shit.
Crazy acrobatic shit was unusual, man. I didn't know that you were going to do that. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah. I'm glad I got to do that. Had to show something off. I'm wondering when, if anyone has guessed what Geo's Mythos is.
I've got to guess.
The dude from Infamous.
I haven't seen that.
Wait a minute, Infamous or Infamous 2?
Wait. Infamous
Well, sorry,
2.
I'm not sorry. Infamous 2, Infamous Second Son is what the guy I was thinking of. Sorry, because there's the character from the two games, and then there's the Second Son, which is a completely.
Oh, it's 1 or 2. No, not Infamous. No, it's the guy. So he was able to like go on wires and skid across them, and that's how he got like fast traveled around the city.
Yeah. See, my problem with the second game was he lost all his powers and had to start all over. He was already pretty awesome at the end of the first game.
Yeah, that was a weird. That was the sandbox conjunction,
Yep.
Right.
Who are we rating tonight? Who are you, Speedy?
I'm Speedy or whatever. This is my channel. I sometimes play other games here, and you can catch 6 and 20 here every week. Also, definitely because this is a collaborative thing, go follow the Twitter account for 6 and 20. It's the word 6, the letter N, the word 20. I realize that this is the most confusing way to have anything, but.
Glad you admitted it.
Yeah. I was just looking at it the other day. I was like, man, it's like that skit where it's like the password is all one word, lowercase, 3 words or something like that, and it just repeats ad nauseum. But yeah. Follow 6 and 20. You can follow me on Twitter too at NotSoSpeedRuns and stuff. Thank you guys for being here. We're gonna go send a raid over to someone I don't think I've had the chance to raid before. Yes. No, you don't think he streams. But some of you may be familiar with a little indie game by the name of FTL, Faster Than Light. The creator of that game, or a couple of them actually, Ben Prunty, is currently streaming. He did the soundtrack for it, and he's playing an indie game with one of the coders, Jettison Joe, and they're both really cool dudes. They have another game coming out soon, Into the Breach, which I'm excited for. So we're gonna go ahead and raid them, and let me get the raid command going as well. There we go. All right, so copy paste that NotSoSpeed raid command, and I'll see you guys there. Thank you all so much for watching everything. It's been a hell of a time, and as always, I don't have a good transition here. Don't forget to take it slow. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.